do it.
We are live right now. So, and then I don't have to worry too much because it's still going to be. I believe it's still recorded on Twitch, and I know for sure it's going to be saved on YouTube.
Well, we're already on Twitch, so I mean, like we're live, everybody. We're fucking live.
Waka waka waka.
Yeah. So I
really is.
I got some. The only thing interesting, I guess, is I got some. Amazon has that try it before you buy it, stuff. So I got some shoes.
What kind of shoes, man?
Well, I got some walking shoes because. But I got to figure out how to open it because if I got to send it back, I don't want to. And then, of course, they put the mailing label right over the frickin' thing.
Yeah, that frickin' thing.
What the frick?
You know how it is. I don't want to swear. I don't want to swear on this show.
Too late, man. I'm pretty sure you've sworn several times, either at myself or Bryce Jordan. So there's at least...
I never swore at Bryce.
I don't know. I think you probably, or maybe sworn about him. You cursed a bit.
Somebody. Oh shit!
God, I don't like how fucking close my camera is right now to my face, but I can't change anything. So
just such vain shit.
No, I mean
I don't like how close it is.
Do you
on
not
my
see
face.
I changed the studio up again, man.
Why?
Because, man. Like I need to make this more of a studio / guest bedroom / office space, and this is the only way to do it because
it can't be a bang room.
I mean, in an emergency,
I would think that's where it is.
I have the master bedroom for that kind of shit. Jr.
You got the bang shower.
Say what? Oh yeah, that's right. The bang shower. I forgot about the bang.
It's the orgy shower, and the master bedroom could be the bang room. God, that sounds so weird saying it. I'm an adult man who said that shit out loud.
Nobody's listening to you.
Yeah, we got.
I mean, like
a viewer.
Oh, damn! Someone did hear that, bro. That's in public. That's out there for the public time.
I mean, it might be me, but because I watch this.
Might be me too.
Try before you buy. If you don't
no, it's ran out of thoughts.
Hang on a minute. Here. I forgot. JR's
Rowdy is here.
Hello, everybody. So walking shoes, trying them.
Yeah, they're Skechers Performance. Cry before you buy. I got 7 days to figure out whether I like them or not. Maximum comfort. Go ahead and take a goddamn walk.
I don't know if I'd want your 7-day worn shoes if you didn't keep them.
Well, I don't care. You don't have to get them. Ooh, squish me. Machine washable.
What brand?
They're Skechers.
Oh, Skechers. I mean, they make comfy shoes.
Yeah, they're very light, and I got a pair of slip-ons, but I thought I would try to get some just to wear. That's
what happens when you both have turned into old men.
I'm not an old man.
Hello. Hey, whoa. Do you see me with 7-week trial shoes?
No,
not
but you
7 weeks, 7 days.
You did say, Skechers are pretty. They make.
You know why I know, Tommy? I had
Skechers
golf shoes for 1 season, and they were comfortable, but I got rid of them because they are. I hate to say it, but they kind of feel like clown shoes. They're so big and wide and heavy, so I ditched them and got my Nike Air Maxes. So I do know, but I traded up, bitch. Okay.
Oh yeah, you traded up to the Devil brand. Okay, gotcha.
Excellent. Well, fellas, we are 7 o'clock. I better play our opening theme. Here we go.
It.
What?
What?
Welcome to the show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The 2 Counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The 2 Counts, great time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet B-Games and JR. Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the 2 Counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the 2 Count, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The 2 Count.
The 2 Count. The 2 Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of the 2 Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Good to see all of you. Thank you for joining us. I hope we're just going to start doing that. When we all get together, we're going to just start the stream, and then we'll play the theme at 7 o'clock, and then we'll go on about our business. Because I think a lot of times some of our best conversation happens before and after the show.
Unfortunately, we are talkative Midwesterners who don't know how to say goodbye and when to start on time.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Maybe
And by
that's
the
the
way,
common
just so
part.
you guys know, we also have a private chat that we can speak to each other on. And I'm not going to say anything, but somebody, hey, Zach, how are you? Good to see you, man. Somebody in our group posted a message of braggadocio in our private chat, and they said, but we're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it. I'll fucking mention it was me, but we're not talking about it, guys. I just wanted to celebrate with you guys because I think it's a good thing to celebrate amongst friends. And yes, some of the people who come out here are our friends. But this is something I want to do.
I had no freaking clue what you guys were talking about. I just looked at that.
Ace is real bad at his job, everybody. No worries.
No, Ace is good at his job. That's why
Yeah, because
you
I'm
have
sending
some
out the
people
social
listening.
media.
Like,
here,
my gosh,
buddy.
you know.
Fucking Goro says it was my first period and I'm embarrassed. No, man, I've had several periods. I'm never embarrassed about them, you fucking
Well,
clown.
congratulations, Tommy.
Lots of
Jeez,
dick
Tom.
pics in the private chat. Says
Jeez, Tom.
HCW. Not wrong, HCW. By the way, what? No, they got their big event coming up.
It's in July,
you should-
right?
I don't know.
What a
HCW
segue. But
No, I was
Yeah,
going to
look
say
at him now
HCW.
trying
Make
to
sure you
change
drop
the
that in our
subject.
chat. No, I want to check it out. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to make it out there, but I'm just saying, like, as far as let us
it
know
was
when you
scary
got
for
your stuff,
somebody, I'm betting, Jesse.
man. Was it scary, Tom? What the fuck is he talking about? Oh, about the period? No, it wasn't.
Commercial.
So, Tom, how many bits do you need to talk about it?
Well, these
Ooh.
cheap
Because we know
bastards.
you're a whore.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a
Ooh.
very horrible.
Okay,
person.
well, let me ask you this. Was it like a special event or will it happen again?
It should happen again.
All right.
I mean,
It wasn't any. There was no underhanded trickiness about it, was there?
well, I don't know what you mean by underhanded trickiness. But no. No.
Well, no.
I mean, depends on how you fucking phrase that shit, I guess.
Well, I mean, I wasn't around, so I can't judge. We can only
Indeed, you weren't.
we can only judge by what you
Well.
say or don't say.
That's true. That is
There we
true.
go.
But
Slam Stravaganza, July the 9th.
Nice.
HCW. And where is that at? Is it in
Elkhart is Indianapolis. What are we talking about here?
when
HCW.
in Indianapolis? It's in Northwest. There's Mikey Two Milks.
I don't
You
know
know
where
why
they go.
he's
Hey,
Mikey
Mike.
Two Milks? He's got two.
He's been here for a while, but I mean, as far as a fan, but hasn't been around. So
Well, he has things to do with his life.
no, he doesn't. No, I love Mikey, but he
met
has nothing to
Mikey.
do with
He's
his life.
got things to do. He does things all the time.
Are you saying I've never met Mikey?
No, I never said that.
Sounded like you said that.
I thought you said I don't know. I don't know. I've met Mikey.
I know you have. Mikey's a good dude, but single dad life. Okay.
Mishawaka, Indiana. That's a good spot. And there is a place there that does comedy, but I don't I've never worked there because I don't know what it's well, things we don't know about Tom. I mean, we know one, he posted in our private chat and refuses to talk about it.
Well, again, you said if there's enough bits. I mean, but these poor sons of guns who come on every Tuesday night, love them to death, but they are miserable about giving us bits and subs.
Well, that's
Absolutely
the way she
miserable.
goes. So, other than that, I hope everybody had a fine Memorial Day holiday. If you didn't have to work, if you had to work, my apologies and thank you for your service.
Did you have to work yesterday with all your Canadian customers?
No, we ignore the Canucks unless it's one of their holidays. Then I'm sort of out in the middle of it. But I'm doing Canada and the West Coast as well. So Canada,
so hippies and Canadians. Good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. So and I'll tell you what, there's a real difference between talking to them, in terms of business. Like the Canadians are real happy to just sort of chat you up a little bit, but the folks out in California, for the most part, are pretty much okay. Get to it and let's get it done with. Now, Washington State, around Seattle, Portland, in Oregon, they're a little bit more laid back. They're more like the Canadians, but in California, it's just like, let's get to the business and quit screwing around.
I mean, we could say that about tonight's show. Let's get to the business and stop screwing around.
Yeah, we could.
What the fuck was that? Is that Ace's way of saying, let's fucking move on?
I'm trying to read this.
It's a lot. Goro always posts, but he posts a lot of words. I think he's threatening you, Tom.
Is Goro challenging me? I mean, how many fucking challenges have I had either from our guests or from the chat? I mean, I think me and Shank are cool. Clearly, he is living that top shelf life. But I mean, he at one time had challenged me, Death Dealer. I'm supposed to get chops from Jimmy Wild, and then Saint just open challenged me leading up to Absolute, the inaugural show there. So, I mean, I don't know. Does Goro want to go? I guess.
Tina, how you feeling?
James Ellsworth can't handle me, and Lord knows Goro can't.
Not a challenge. He's got the giant James Ellsworth. No chin music. Oh my God! So everybody, I'm assuming, watched the big Double or Nothing show. Good, happy to hear that.
Good to hear, Tina.
Josh Morris wants some top shelf too. He ain't gonna let you die, Tom. What's gonna happen is you're gonna go out to Mishawaka, and you're gonna be surprised at the power and strength of one Josh Morris,
the Saucy Boy,
and you're going to have to start a new life in Mishawaka, Indiana.
Well, I mean, I don't know if about new life in anywhere in Indiana, because it's still Indiana, but and I know they'd probably say the same thing about Minnesota. I wouldn't start a new life in Minnesota because it's Minnesota.
No, see, the thing is, you wouldn't have a choice because you would go down there, and then Josh Morris would make you an invalid.
He'd make me what?
An invalid.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure the Saucy Boy can't do nothing.
Yeah, well,
no, I kid. Actually, you know what? I did see on social media this weekend. He is another title holder. It's not through HCW, but and we obviously don't have Saucy Boy in here. But yeah, good for him for winning another title.
Nice.
Other than his Saucy Weight Championship, which, I'd take him down a peg or two, I think, on that one too.
And Goro believes that Steve Mongo McMichael could to take you from the grave.
Okay.
Wait, did he die? Is he gone now? I thought he was like almost gone.
I don't know.
I don't think he's dead, but
you could Vern Gagne him. I
don't know. I mean, we could do the old Google.
Nah, why would we? I don't want to get proper. I want to spew as much rumors as possible.
Sinister Mind is here. Oh man,
Sin!
dude. I just see a picture of him in bed. He looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
ALS, man. It's that Lou Gehrig's disease is taking him out.
Sin, by the way, I still have, good to see you. I still have pins for you. I am so terrible bad at finding time to do anything. So I will figure out a way to get it out. Oh, you're moving. Okay. Where are you moving to?
She's moving up north? Maybe. HCW,
north.
I was not denying the sauce. I clearly know the sauce.
Sin, can you do your job from anywhere? You have one of those kind of cool remote do it from anywhere? Or, oh my God, Or, I love Or, if you guys don't know this, Or has one of the coolest things, the bear sanctuary. Awesome. That is so awesome, Sin. I'm happy for you. The
I don't
bear
know, do they have good enough
sanctuary.
internet up there in Orr?
Oh yeah, sure they do.
Or are you sure? Got it, baby. Woo.
You know,
keep-
now that private message seems pretty surprising.
I know.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't, Ace.
Well, you know.
That was a world-class fucking pun there, fellas. I mean, you know how much I fucking hate puns, so.
I know. I thought it sucked. I thought it absolutely sucked. Yes, the Vince Shoot Bear Sanctuary is very, very cool. And if you don't know the story, Vince Shoot apparently used to shoot bears. But he used to go out and just kill them for the sake of being there. And then he, I don't know, one caught his eye. He was looking at one or some kind of whatever. And Sin, you got to go when you go back up there. It's really cool. If you go up there around a certain time, they corral everybody into a viewing area, and then they leave food out for these bears, and it's like dozens of bears come waltzing up in there, and they know them all. They know them by name. It's almost like they're tame, but you sure wouldn't want to pet one. And it's just super cool, and there you go.
I'll tell you what. I've been to I volunteered one time at a excuse me, Ace, I was talking. I volunteered my time one time at a sanctuary, a wildlife refuge sanctuary and stuff. And they had bears.
Mm-hmm.
They had mountain lions. They had several other predatory animals and stuff.
Were they free to come and go as they wished, or were they penned?
They were penned, but they were very large pens. So
yeah. So these animals are free to come and go. These are like there's no defense. It's just like they put food out there, and there you go. It was your hillbilly Alabama. There you go.
I mean, I was going to say that actually one of the things I had to do was clean up around the cougars or the mountain lions pen, and one of them was staring me down the whole time. So I took off my glasses and I gave him like the rock eye, just kept staring him down.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker didn't do nothing. As soon as I turn my back, he like starts prowling a little bit. I look back over at him, give him the eye again. He stops. And I just keep going about my business, break eye contact. And then this motherfucker comes run up on the fence, jumps and pounces at me, gets stopped by the fence, thank God.
Yeah, because you don't taunt fucking animals, you dipshit.
I wasn't taunting him. I was staring him down.
We had
a conversation with our eyes.
You were taunting the animal.
You don't fuck with the top shelf.
You were messing with the cougar, and you weren't top shelf then.
I wasn't.
You were some stupid dipshit out there trying to see about poking the cougar or the mountain lion to see what happens.
First of all, you make that sound dirty. I was not trying to poke anything. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, see,
Dan.
Redbeard gets it. Tommy the Hitman. Chillstrom. See, I mean, that's another moniker I could go with. I mean, I am the best, so.
Oh, you're the best Tom we have on the show, that's for sure.
Well, you know what? That's not my fault. My parents named me Tom.
Yep.
But
Top Shelf Adventures with Bears and Cougars.
I think so. This Vince Shoot guy, I think what happened is he had his picnic basket stolen and then returned with food in it. So Yogi must have eaten somebody else's and then just returned his. So that's probably why he had that moment of epiphany to then make a bear sanctuary. It's because of Yogi.
Tom said he didn't want to talk about it. Bryce.
Who's asking now?
Bryce was asking.
Who's Bryce?
It's like he's nothing.
Oh,
I'll
there
tell
he
you
is.
what.
Sorry, Bryce.
I'll tell you what, buddy. There's some cougars down at that resort I was at this weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah, Ace is okay. So basically, what happens is the beginning of the show. All right, what we do is me and Tom jack around while Ace is posting on all the social media because we don't know how to do it.
Not jack around. What the fuck? We're yakking. We're not jacking here, buddy.
Look, just
Fucking watch
because
your mouth,
you
old man.
have a bad association with a phrase doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Dude, I grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, dude. Like,
I
this
don't
is
give
what
a
I'm
rat's
about.
ass when you grew up.
Yeah, Redbeard is not the
See,
same.
Redbeard knows it's the same goddamn thing.
Sure. You fucking old men then.
All I can say.
Oh,
is-
direct eye contact is happy to see Hamilton Ham Porter is still active online. Thank you. I'm pretty sure that was directed towards me. And how did you know I went as Hamilton Porter for Halloween a couple years ago?
FDS. Is that feminine deodorant spray?
I don't know what
There you
FDS
go.
is, but
Thank
he'll
you,
cut me. Oh, he'll cut me some a little slack for what's okay. It's like, fuck, is that a threat?
It's all happening. It's all happening here.
Flaccid dick syndrome. I didn't know that was a fucking thing, man.
I didn't know it was either. I thought it was
FDS,
something else.
Let's see if that's a real thing.
I have no idea what's going on.
It's just
Yeah,
it's
man.
great.
Join
We're
the party.
enjoying having a lot of active chatters tonight. And you're trying to give them all the COVID.
Negative. My test was negative this time.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
I don't see anything for flaccid dick syndrome. I do see one for hard flaccid syndrome. Is a rare disorder where a man's penis is constantly in a semi-erect, semi-flaccid state, which sounds fucking horrifying.
I got to tell you, I would.
Oh, Coro's getting over COVID, huh? Well, too bad it didn't take you. Anyhow,
Oh, ouch.
I'll tell you what. If anybody really wanted to get at Tom, they would just have to call the cops and say, "Hey, just go look at his search history."
yeah, for all those sweet wrestling references I'm looking up. What the fuck are you talking about, JR?
You just looked up flaccid dick syndrome.
FDS, man. I wanted to see if it was a real thing. It wasn't.
WebMD.
Yeah, man. You know how many times I go to WebMD or like MayoClinic.org or something to try and reference stuff?
Why?
So this has definitely been the most random pre-conversation to any of the show content we have planned tonight.
Fuck yeah.
We were going to start trying to talk about Double or Nothing, but we got sidetracked from the chat.
Yeah, but we like the chat.
Yeah, HCW. I might start a show like that. WebMD with Top Shelf. Why not? We'll talk. It could be like Dr. Drew.
Every episode ends the same way. Tommy thinks he's dying.
I used to.
We're all dying. Just
I don't know
But
if-
I mean, because anytime you go to WebMD, you think you're dying.
yeah, I don't. I know better. I'm not that person. I go there for reference. That's all I go there for.
There you go. That's Tom in a nutshell.
What-
No, it's funny that you mentioned that. Though. I don't know if you were aware of this one, Ace, but down. I was doing it with. I think I had a little thing we were trying to do with Tracy McRae, Paleface Ale, and
It's what? It's a pale face ale? It's an extra
yeah,
pale
because
ale.
you got the palest face in the show.
No, Red Beer was asking if I was drinking a twisted tea, and I had to show him what's up.
He's got the palest face.
With the
Yes.
fucking
He
banner
does.
behind
Oh,
me
fuck yeah.
and the
Hell yeah.
beer. You should know better, fucking Redbeard. Come on, man. I ain't no twisted tea, motherfucker. Too much sugar in that shit too. It gives me gut rot. I'm like literally one can. I'm fucking done.
Anyway,
Hate that shit.
Anyway, So we were talking about the Tom as an MD. We did a little radio bit, and I was a fake guy. I was a lot of fake guys. I was a fake psychic on the radio. I was well, not fake. I mean, I had a gimmick, but
You were definitely a vocal character.
yeah,
Actor.
and one of the things that we did was we had sports talk, and I was a sports trainer, and we had fake people calling in, and it was like, so I hurt my elbow playing tennis. What should I do? And my advice was just always, you better put some ice on that.
Oh man,
And then that was just it. It was every time there was a question, that was it. Yeah, you better ice it.
Stretch it out. Stretch it out.
Ice that fucker.
That's a good one. I would have said something like, depending on when you were on the radio and stuff like that. It was a Summer of Slam or whatever with McGuire and Sosa. Like, just take some creatine. You'll be fine. Take some creatine.
That would have been good.
Take your protein.
Yeah.
Whey is the best. Whey
Well,
is the only way.
Anyway, so just by show of hands, if you watch Icy Hot, ooh yeah, and the jockstrap. If you were able to watch the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view, why don't you just throw up a big D in the chat so we know who all was able to watch it? Instead, that way it gives us an idea.
Why don't we tell them to put a number fucking 2 out there?
Well, what's the fucking difference?
I don't know, because you said a big D out there, so let's not put a fucking big D out there in our chat. What,
D for Double or Nothing, asshole.
Well, or 2 for 2 count, asshole. Fucking self-promote a little bit, why don't you, you fucking clown?
Yeah, so everybody will know if there's a 2 in the chat what the show is.
Fine, everybody. Put DON in the fucking
there
chat
you go.
If you watch
I will agree with that. Fine. Jesus. This is just becoming arduous, Tom.
You know what? This is what happens if we go 2 weeks in a row without a guest. I just don't know how to fucking find that middle ground with you guys anymore.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There is no middle ground. You can't handle it. All right. So, first of all, if you started with the pre-show, it was it 5 hours and 40 or 5 hours and 50 minutes?
I don't know. I fell asleep in that main event, so I'm actually very pissed off. I made it all the way through, and about 10 minutes into that fucking main event, I fucking fell asleep.
Yeah. Let's just say this. It was long.
Tim Nell, what's up, dude?
And as we go through and sort of think about it, there were some things that maybe didn't need to be on that show.
Mm-hmm.
And after they played out, didn't really forward anything. But I will say this: most of you, if you've been following along, you know that on Saturday, the big news was that MJF skipped out on the Fan Fest, just was no show, and apparently had booked a flight to leave Las Vegas. But then, of course, it was he and Wardlow was the first match. This is a curious time and a curious event to me, because some people think that it's just a work. Yeah, Rowdy, you're right. Is it a work? Is it not? I mean, he's been riding on Tony Khan that he's not happy with what's going on there for quite a while. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Today it came out that the run sheet for Double or Nothing originally going in had that match first. So they're kind of being like, it was just all smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if it is,
I do. I think it was a really good. I mean, it was good. Like, I think they're that good to know when to pull a shit like that. You know, to pull something like this. I think MJF is by far smart enough with his character to know when they should pull a move like this.
Yeah.
And I don't think Tony Khan's dumb enough to say, no, I'm going to, like, he sees what's happening. And he knows it's probably very true that there's going to be interest in a couple of years from WWE. So I think it really sounds a lot like it is really just good work. Because when we see MJF next, which they say he might be out for a little bit now, get a little time off. But when he comes back, it's going to be this whole thing, especially if it's sooner than later, about they're going to just continue with this. He's going to talk about it in the ring. And I think that's the thing is when this stuff happens to him, like WWE that has interest in him, a month and a half later, it's being used in their storyline. You know what I mean? So they know what they're doing. And the best thing they got going is MJF. And this just made that 10 times more. Because for at least from the night before when it was reported that a flight was booked for him to leave Vegas till when that show started and his music hit for that first match, no one knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
No one knew if it was there was a legitimate period of time where it was like, did he really just leave? You guys have to remember in wrestling worldwide, like they've had a plan of what they're doing with that title belt going from when they started. And Page was kind of, I think, the last pitcher. You know what I mean? I think that was the last one they had planned in order. So now they're probably starting new Punks in there. But I think there's a long-term plan. You got, year and a half, 2 years with MJF? Why wouldn't you make him a champ for that last year at least? Because then when it's negotiation time, he's your champ. You know what I mean? It's going to maybe want to keep him there more. They have a little more stranglehold on him. To try to keep him because you're already our champ. So here's what we're going to do, as opposed to he may then have to, take that bullet, go over there to WWE and not walk right into a title right away. So, because we know how they book, no matter how big or how small you are, we know how they book. Look how many careers WWE has ruined. So it is what it is. That's what I think. And I think it's a really good job. I don't always agree with some of the stuff they do when they kind of pull some of that shit out from the real world. Especially when I think it just rubs me the wrong way because Tony Khan will still keep saying he's not an on-screen character and I'm not in it. And it's like, dude, your name's all over this shit, bro. You came out and didn't he bring the Owens wife out?
Yeah.
Didn't he walk her? Which, all right, yeah, we'll get into that. I won't jump the gun on that. But I mean, it's just I think it was a great work. I really think it was a great work hearing that. And let's be honest, the whole from when he introduced Wardlow as his guy, his contracted guy, to when that bell rang, they have been building for it. You know what I mean? And that kind of build was going to end one way, and that is Wardlow was going to dummy him because MJF had to get that ultimate payback, being that this started as him being this little bitch to all the way progresses to this. So, and again, this guy hasn't had a break since day one from AEW,
right?
Or, when it's launched. So, I mean, well deserved. He is one of the biggest things they have, and they know that. So, he'll go away for a while, come back, and you'll see him start to finally get in these title pictures. And I think his last, what's he got, 2 years on his contract right now? It's 2024.
January 1st, 2024.
So, a year and a half. I think in the last year of his last year run there before that contract ends is going to be a real big run for him. They're going to really put it all on him.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I will say this one thing, and because I mentioned it during our little chat, as far as our group stuff, MJF does not apparently know how to take a powerbomb because I don't know why the fuck he's putting his arms back like that. I literally thought he was trying to hurt himself for a second, so that's why I'm thinking it wasn't.
Did he? Damn, I don't even remember that.
Oh, dude, I think after the first one, he started putting his arms back for some fucking reason, which I've never seen anybody do on a powerbomb ever. And so I genuinely thought he was trying to hurt himself and maybe trying to get some time off that way, but which is foolish. But I don't know. I think it's a work, especially considering Tony Khan immediately came into the press conference afterwards, I guess, and said he's not taking any questions about MJF.
Oh, yeah, it's a work.
Yeah, so that's where I'm kind of going at. But I think the smartest thing that AEW could do is not to rush a feud with MJF and Punk again. So spoilers, if anybody didn't watch it or whatever, Punk fucking won, which we'll get to. But no, because I mean, Spears didn't come down to the ring with him. The inner circle is, or not inner circle, excuse me, but the Pinnacle is basically done, I would assume. And the one thing I think back to is when they introduced Wardlow, he was getting vignettes through AEW.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was like a vignette where you see MJF or whatever and just like introducing Wardlow. I mean, so that part, you know, was a work to begin with. Clearly, he was signed to the company and all that. But the way they really played it out, though, too, I think makes a lot of sense, especially considering the fact that he tried to put the ring on. You have Wardlow and Bryce Remsburg both there, kind of just laughing at him in a way. And then Bryce just takes it right out the finger, puts it in his pocket. I mean, that's some just classic heel stuff right there. And that's why I think
Really,
too, like MJF knows his character. He knows his business far too well to not know that his greatest monetization will come on that next contract, because I don't think AEW can afford to lose him, period. He is by far their best heel. Doesn't matter who's doing what. Doesn't matter, like with Jericho Appreciation Society, which, by the way, that logo looks very much like Jade's. If anybody's seen it, like Jade Cargill and JS look very similar. But so like Jericho's not there. Any of those guys. Jade herself is not a great heel in comparison to MJF. Like, he is the top guy. Like, Kenny Omega could be there if he went to the cleaner route, but yeah, dude, like it's far and away. It's MJF is their man, and he's got to be there for like the next decade plus, dude, because that guy, he's fucking money every time he steps on the fucking screen, dude. He's the best talker. He's the best fucking worker. He knows the fucking moves, and he just knows how to sell fucking everything, man. Win, lose, or draw, he is by far your best talent.
Having said that, how do you feel about the match as a whole? Was it I mean, I would have personally, I would have liked to see MJF fought back a little bit more, right?
Yeah, he should have had more offense.
I mean, that's the whole thing. I think, yeah, and I bet that's true. I just, to me, it's just like, okay, well, it was kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, like I said, though, MJF hasn't really gotten his payback from any of the guys he's feuded with so far, like a big payback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, other
But
than
his long,
winning
but his
against
long,
Punk,
but his longest feud he's had is not Wardlow, because those seeds were planted
Right.
so long ago. So again, it's only right that the guy that's going to get the best of MJF first, like really in a match like they did, is going to be Wardlow. Let's be honest too. Wardlow's going to get pushed to the moon.
Oh yeah.
Like, they are going to push that guy to the moon, as what's his name would say, Cameron Grimes. Yeah, but here's the deal. You got to remember too, MJF hasn't won almost hardly any match clean.
Right.
Almost none. Actually, he may have not won any match yet clean, has he? I don't think he has. He's used the ring in almost every match.
I thought he beat Darby clean at Full Gear.
I don't think he did. If you know in the chat, let us know. But I'm pretty sure he hasn't had a clean win yet.
Well,
Which, therefore, it's good that it went down. And let's be honest, there's some tomfoolery caused by himself when, like you said, they catch the ring and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, he'll come back. These two will have another match. That's how it's going to be. They're going to have another match. And he'll get his on Wardlow eventually, but this was how it had to go. This was good. This was the best way to go, I feel.
Right.
Playing with a side headlock. I remember it well.
Okay, so he got one match clean?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it was clean, but it was with the side headlock, and that was what his
Either way, you can pull that with him, though, with a heel
Right.
like this. You know what I mean? Especially when it's like I don't know. It's just a good storyline that they're doing when you know what they're going to do, and that is MJF will have the title eventually. Wardlow's going to get pushed big time, eventually have his run, and then this involved CM Punk because didn't CM Punk beat him? CM Punk beat him by DQ, or did he beat CM Punk? I don't remember.
He technically beat him twice because he did. They restarted after using the diamond ring, and then he did get the legitimate win over CM Punk.
Okay.
And you're right, Bryce. Yes, he did use the ring.
ring
I
right
just
before
looked
it.
it up. He did use the ring at Full Gear, and then took him over with the side headlock takeover. Which, by the way, if you ever watch, like, go to Wikipedia and look up some of these fucking moves. They have little fucking stick characteristics or like graphics with them. It's fucking hilarious.
Because here's the deal too. MJF cost Wardlow his legitimate clean win on Punk, who is now the champ. So
That's a fair
if
point.
they've already teased that Wardlow is going to be able to run through Punk and beat him, the only reason he didn't is because MJF cost him that match, and now Punk's holding your title. All these things are going to be what helps blow up Wardlow, and hopefully done right, he'll be a huge champ too someday, and it won't be like fucking a Braun Strowman situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, I like it. I think it's a good way to get MJF out of there for a minute, get him to regroup, come back. Guy's hot as ever. You know what I mean? Get him ready for a title run. I think him taking it off Punk eventually would be huge. Maybe, I kind of think Punk may have a short run.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know why. In my opinion, I guess we might as well just maybe go that way. But since that is the other big news of the evening as far as title changes go, that was the only one. Yeah, that was the only title change we had on the night was the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But I fully believe this is like a 2-month run for Punk because he doesn't need it, man. Like I literally was talking to a friend before the actual pay-per-view, and I said, Punk is probably not going to win because he doesn't need the championship, and it's only because he walked away from wrestling when he didn't need to. He just walked away because it's what he wanted to do, and
he took
so
his
he didn't
fall and he went home.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how he evolves his character because he is still getting cheered a lot of places, and unfortunately, I didn't go back and actually watch the main event past a certain point. Like I didn't go back and finish it, but so I don't know what chicanery came about in the match, but
None really.
Yeah, none really. They both basically teased each other's finishes a whole bunch of times.
Right.
And then they each landed it a few times, but it was just eventually Punk that took it. I don't remember. Did he win with the go to sleep or he got the pin?
So here's another thing too, is that again, they were talking about Forbidden Door, but they didn't really fucking tease anything as far as.
They won't. Yeah, they wouldn't do it there.
Well, I thought they had a couple opportunities, right? Because apparently Punk has been ducking and refuses to face Kenta. Kenta wants to face him for apparently the right to the GTS. He won't do it. And I thought, well, what better way? I mean, since you've already had Jay White go out there and say that this is Forbidden Door is based around the fact that you have the Undisputed Elite and Bullet Club basically running both of these fucking companies right now. Kenta is still a member of Bullet Club, and I think it would have been a fucking hell of a way to go out there and actually promote this for the next one is if Kenta somehow got involved. Maybe hits Punk with a GTS and then fucking runs off, and that's how Page retains. But
yeah, I agree. I don't think there was as many big moments at this pay-per-view for AEW. I think it lacked that a little bit, but I also think they've set the bar so high this last year that we knew eventually it was going to be a problem for them. Because eventually you weren't going to have huge debuts every pay-per-view because eventually that's going to fizzle out.
And we talking about those. They had 3.
Well, kind of. Yeah, I mean, kind of. But I mean, you know what I mean?
I don't know who this fucking Stokely guy is or whatever, but
and and Athena, yeah, Michael Bivens.
I
yeah,
was
he was in
excited for
WWE.
Ember Moon. Yeah.
And that was cool. Athena, that's dope.
Well, and
But-
Roosh, man. Honestly, I'm more. I almost fucking popped in my fucking living room when I saw Roosh come in with Andrade, and then do the fucking fist, man. Like
Mhm.
Los Ingobernables in fucking AEW would be fucking tits, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be dope too. But again, you know, I don't know, just not a huge moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Fair.
and here's how I think would have been because, you know, you have. Well, let's get into the show because now we're just fucking hopping all over.
Yeah.
So we already
Sorry.
did the main event.
Sorry.
We're skipping that. Did you guys check out Hookhausen versus Tony Nese and Mark Sterling on the
Yes.
goodbye?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Once I
times.
finally was able to get in after fucking Bleacher Report's bullshit.
So people saying Bleacher Report bad. I've not had any issues. People
I
are
didn't have
calling
an
for it
issue
to go
either.
back to fight. What do you think?
It depends on when you were trying to get in, right? So that's why they actually delayed. Well, one of the reasons they delayed the fucking actual pre-show match until as late as they did was because they were trying to avoid Game 7 because it was run on TNT.
Yeah. I remember.
They're
that.
trying to avoid that because that is still their fucking home and they got to worry
Fuck
about fucking
you, NBA. Nobody gives a shit.
right.
Us wrestling fans don't give a shit.
Well, some of us do, but I wasn't really watching it.
I don't give a shit once the Timberwolves are out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I had
thought.
other shit going on Sunday, like dealing with a fucking migraine and tension headache that kept me in bed all day. Anyhow, yeah, so that was one of the reasons it got a late start. Tony Schiavone mentioned several times as far as if you had problems with the app. So online, I couldn't get to my fucking profile, and then it kept mentioning when I was trying to get it through my Roku on Bleacher Reports app that it said I had already purchased it. I'm like, I fucking haven't. Actually, I don't know where the fuck you got this information. So literally, it was a lot of back and forth between either the website and their apps. But they finally got it fucking corrected because I couldn't even pull it up through my fucking iPad either. So
It's strange.
Yeah, I had no issues with it, but I've liked both of them, Fight and Bleacher. But yeah, I heard a lot of people not happy with Bleacher. Some people were saying they should go back to the Fight app.
no, they got to go through Bleacher because I think it's part of their TV deal. Is because that's
Right,
owned by
yeah.
Time Warner.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Media.
So yeah, I don't know. I had no issues, but anyways, that opening match, Hookhausen takes the win. I would like them to actually show that Danhausen can wrestle eventually.
Well, they're gonna have
Throwing
to.
that there. I mean, we got like 2 moves, and then Hook did everything else, and then Danhausen tags in to just cover him. He didn't even
But I
cover him,
think-
which is fine. That's cool. But I mean, eventually, not eventually, like sometime like in the distant, like in the next like 3 months, they got to give the guy at least a chance to have like 10 minutes of offense, and he can show what he does. Because otherwise, he's going to be just a big joke.
Well, remember that's kind of what they did with Orange too. Initially, he didn't wrestle anybody. He just did his gimmick and the whole thing. He might have rolled here, he might have hopped there, but he didn't really wrestle anybody for quite a while.
But it didn't take him long to wrestle, though.
No,
You know
that's
what
true.
I mean? Like it really didn't. I mean, a month into his first like anything on screen that was like a somewhat of a storyline, he eventually had a match towards that end of it. So I think within his first 2 months, he had some match where it's like, okay, you can see there's a lot more there. You maybe didn't see it all yet, and you did eventually. And at this point, everybody knows he's great in ring. But you did see shades of it, and we haven't gotten any shades of it yet with Danhausen. We got literally one move. And again, I get it, and I get that people fucking love Hook. I don't fully understand it, but I get that they like him. I get that
woman.
I get
think
that they're
that's-
trying to push. My thing is like they try to like play like he's all chiseled and jacked, but he's also like kind of tiny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like go put him next to fucking anybody else in the locker room.
Well, yeah. If you think about it, he's probably wrestling. Yeah, he is probably a cruiserweight.
He's a cruiserweight for sure. Like,
But, I
there's
mean,
no question.
If you look at it, like his physique, I mean, he was going against Tony Nese too. So like,
And that's true. And
like those
very,
are probably
very
two of your
true.
guys too. That like, as far as physiques go, they probably have two of the best in AEW.
And that's true. And I get that the whole doesn't really talk and just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Silent but deadly, man. Come on, dude.
I guess. I mean, his dad wasn't like that. I mean,
Cold-hearted, handsome Hook, right, or whatever the fuck.
I just
Cold-hearted, handsome devil.
like.
Handsome devil.
I just. We'll see where it goes. And obviously, to be honest, I don't think they're going to push him that hard now because they teamed him up with Danhausen.
Yeah, I do want to also say, because we didn't mention this, the deal that's going on with the Ass Boys and the Acclaimed is fucking classic. And the fact that Billy Gunn is all on board and in love with the Acclaimed just is hilarious.
So where does that go?
I don't know.
Did they like show them all like passed out, half naked in their room?
But then they showed Billy, covering up what the Acclaimed guy took the blanket off his own kid, and it's like, it's beautiful to me.
I don't know. That's probably an angle you could take as far as like not a stable, because they don't really need those two tag teams to be a stable. But if you're looking at like a trios championships and stuff like that, it would make more sense for Gun Club and Acclaim to tag up in that way and having like an extra guy for like Freebird.
You would think they would do Freebird Rules with 4 when it's okay.
Yeah, and then like
I just say that, or would one of them get a singles push?
I mean, I don't know. Like out of that whole group, the only one in my mind that deserves a single push is Max Caster, but he's already had several opportunities. You know, like Face of the Revolution. I think he did the Diamond Ring match last year, and then he's also had a TNT shot. So,
all right, well, we'll see.
Bryce wants to be scissored.
That was funny when Billy
JR.
scissored the guy.
Yeah.
JR, you want to scissor Bryce?
Not really.
Huh? Come on, man. I got you, Bryce.
Anyways, the Young Bucks also faced the Hardys in other news.
News.
So that was fun. I mean, it would have been so much better if they have never met in the ring before, but they've already had 2 matches before. So I get it. It's the first time on like that big of a stage, and it was still awesome. But then you hear about like the reports today coming out about Jeff Hardy and how he was already in really bad shape going into that match. So then you kind of wonder, I mean, it was a good match, but it probably could have been better. And you could see parts where it's like, hey man, you guys have been doing this for a while. Yeah. Like, take it down a notch. And to be honest, the Young Bucks are years away from being kind of at that same point where it's like, you guys have been around this game for a long time. You know what I mean? But I mean,
why this is up there.
And I liked it. It was fun times. I feel bad. I hope Jeff Hardy's doing all right. I know no one knows what's really going on, but they just say he's in like real rough shape right now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like this. When they talk about it, and it's like, oh, this dream matchup. Well, yeah, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
when they first did it, yeah,
when they did it, yeah.
Or at ROH or whatever they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's too bad because obviously, as you said, that the Hardy Boys are just banged up over years and years of abusing their bodies for our entertainment.
Yeah, but look at what Jeff Hardy's gone through in the last like 3 months. He fucking jumped out that little ledge in the fucking arena. He just went through fucking hell with Darby and shit like that.
Wow.
Like, I mean, and like some of those spots aren't easy to come back from. And and the Stadium Stampede a few years ago when fucking Matt Hardy was involved with that too, and like fucking broke his head open and shit like that, man. Like neither one of these guys has ever wrestled fucking clean, healthy, if you will. Yeah, like they're always nursing something. And it sounds like Matt Jackson, like even though he's been kind of like playing up the back injury, like that's a legit thing he's dealing with every fucking day, is that lower back issue where it's just fucking tight every fucking morning. Takes him a couple hours apparently to get in shape to fucking travel and do whatever the fuck he needs to do. So you guys aren't wrong. The Young Bucks are not too far away from being the Hardy Boys, actually.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I do have a real issue with the Hardy Boys winning this match. Because they have nothing to fucking prove from it. So I don't understand why you do that unless you have them be next in line for a title shot.
Well, because let's be real honest. The Hardys or the Bucks They're kind of past the whole title shot now too. They've done their run. These teams are here to just give us these like marquee matches. You know what I mean?
Well,
The
And
Young
the
Bucks-
Bucks are, and the Bucks are there to wait for the trios.
Exactly. And this is filling time to the ultimate, well, this is filling till because that's the other thing. You had to cut ends on a lot of shit at Double or Nothing because now you're going to have a month of lead in to your next pay-per-view with the Japan guys. So they want to give all their attention these next few weeks to that shit. You know what I mean?
they have to. And I'm sure even AEW guys over there doing the US Dojo shit or what is it? And JPW Strong is their show that they do in LA and stuff. So you're not wrong, and I understand all that, and I agree with probably the Young Bucks with probably when Kenny comes back, which apparently he'll never be 100% either. Which if you saw any of that news over the weekend, but so because you got to figure Adam Cole will go with Red Dragon as far as a trios championship, but I tell you what, man, like again, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I know that both of these teams really don't need it, but in my mind, to keep the tag team division going, because this was a better tag match than what you saw from the actual tag championship match. In my mind, like it was still far and away better than what you saw in that triple threat, which is hard to do for tag teams anyways. But you legitimately had like two teams in there where I thought these guys aren't a tag team, like Team Taz and Lee and Strickland. Those aren't tag teams in my mind.
Although Lee and Strickland are very close to becoming a legitimate tag team because, damn, they're good in there together.
They are. But I'm just saying, like, as far as if you're looking at your actual division, Hardy Boys and Young Bucks are already built in as tag teams. FTR should probably get a push again because, I mean,
But I think you run into the fear of you're recycling everybody who's already run with the titles. You know what I mean?
But you didn't give FTR a real, like, shot with them in my mind. You gave them up to a certain point. It was the pandemic era and shit like that, so you just kind of threw them on the Young Bucks, it felt like. But
I mean, they had them for a little while though. It wasn't like a short run.
It was the shortest run of the tag team so far outside of
so far, but I mean
Lucha Express or whatever.
The other
Jungle
thing too
Express,
though is the one
Jurassic
team that it's tragic they haven't gotten it and definitely need to get it before FTR has a second run, and that is Santana or Ortiz.
Yeah.
How have these two fucking guys not had a title run?
That's a good point.
What the hell?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with that, and I think you're right. I don't mind them getting a shot with them because I think that they deserve it at this point because they are like, as far as actual straight tag teams signed, they were like the fourth, like legitimate tag team signed or whatever. I think they made their debut.
They debuted at the second pay-per-view.
Yeah, so All Out.
I'm gonna look it up. Unless Danny or somebody knows.
I think it was All Out. So because it was the first one was Double or Nothing back in 2019, and then it was All Out.
Yeah, All Out 2019.
Yeah. So I mean, at that point, you only had Bucks and SCU, really. I mean, because even that, like your second tag team title holders were Omega and Hangman, which I guess, sure, but
that was for that was for storyline, I think.
Well, it ended up being for storyline, yeah. But I mean, again, like, well, I mean, Scorpio Sky wasn't technically be one of the guys, anyways. He filled in for Daniels after getting hurt, so. But I'm just saying, like, as far as tag teams go, it still makes sense to have them at least challenge for some of the titles. I mean, Lucha Brothers are still around, and that would be nice to see. But I think again, you look at
Lucha Brothers can go still though.
Yeah,
these four are kind of not.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean?
When you know that the Young Bucks are going to go through at least until that Rampage at in Ontario, California, and then probably take some time off, I would assume. But
I would think so too. I think they're due for some time off. I know that I think they both probably have got some long-term injuries. Yeah, and the Briscoes might eventually come on over because they're ROH right now. So eventually we may see them make that crossover.
Oh well, they're Impact actually.
Oh, are they Impact? Jeez, I can't keep it straight.
Yeah, they're the Impact champions. FTR is AAA and ROH right now.
Nice. TBS Championship went down with Jade Cargill on a J. Kind of just
sucked.
It was the
wasn't
worst
meh.
match of the
It
night
sucked.
by far.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you go back and watch it, you will see that Jade clearly doesn't know what the fuck is going on. The referee is having to position her and
Yeah,
tell her what
yeah.
to do. It was to me, and granted, I mean, I couldn't do it, but Jesus Christ, that's your champion.
You're at a top level doing it, and yeah, you're one of the faces.
And when we were talking about it, I know. One of you guys mentioned, well, yeah, Anna's not looking that good either. It didn't make any difference because Anna can't, like, if Jade isn't doing the right shit, Anna can't clean it all up.
No, I mentioned that, like, Anna wasn't looking great, but she still carried that fucking match. Like, you know, it's crazy how much she's developed in her time and like basically 3 years of being with AEW, from start of the show, training with Nightmare Factory to where she is now. Like, she still carried that fucking match. Again, it wasn't a great match. I mean, no one's gonna rate it like -5 stars or -5 stars or whatever the fucking trope is and shit like that. But like, it's clear and obvious you can't have Jade in these kind of matches. I mean, she just can't be pay-per-view right now. She's just too green herself. And eventually, I mean, I think Athena has to take it off of her. I think.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Green like her hair. I hope you're right. I hope Athena takes that shit from her.
Absolutely.
Snatches that shit up. But you never know, because we're going to talk about what the fuck they're doing to Ruby Soho as well.
Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah.
Let's get to the House of Black versus the Death Triangle, which I thought was another good match. Fun, great match. And to be honest, we said if it didn't fucking happen on that night, don't even bother anymore. And they did it.
And they did, and it was awesome.
Yep. So, really good match overall, I thought. I mean, I really did like, actually, House of Black coming out with basically the same face paint across the board. And thank God Buddy Matthews does not have fucking tattoos, because it would have been real difficult. It was already hard enough to tell Malachi Black and Brody King apart because of all the tattoos and the face paint and shit like that. But like,
well, one's a lot fucking bigger than the other.
It was still tough though, man. Like when they fucking got going, because they all have black trunks and fucking those. I mean, I'm just saying, like, hell of a fucking match though, man. Like seriously, like these guys are all fucking some of the best workers, and it's a real shame that like Malachi is not in the championship scene right now himself, or I'm sure they're setting these guys up, all of them, as like trio contenders and stuff.
I think they're the first ones to get them.
They have
when
to.
they get introduced. I think they are the first ones to get them,
because technically they basically put outside of like Phoenix going down, they've taken like House or Death Triangle out twice.
Yeah, and they've killed the Varsity Blondes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and to have Julia Hart finally come out and do that shit was great. It finally, and it was the way they did it. You know what I mean? Like, again, all of us were on that same page of if the turn don't happen at Double or Nothing, just be done with it and let her go back cheering.
Yeah.
I thought it was just she was gonna, do something, hit someone with something, but to have her actually spray the mist, fucking beautiful.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying as far as, like, and the look too. Like, I mean, she had kind of been playing with some darker looks, still wearing like the varsity jacket or whatever, but like the look is key here, right? Like they didn't change the fucking hair color, which I think is important here, which you don't trying to fucking make her like Alexa Bliss or anything like that, where it's like, oh, well, darker persona, so let's just change everything about her. Like, no. You keep her in having blonde hair. You keep her having, regular makeup and stuff like that. You just have her have a deeper, darker persona.
Well, it starts with that eye. They're going to leave eye make that, and that's
great.
If you recall, they started with just a little bit underneath,
right?
And then there was a bigger. Then that's why everybody knew it was coming. But
do they all have it?
Well, I mean, they all painted their face.
No, and she also had
Malachi. But Malachi does that. His one eye is painted black like hers was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
the other two aren't though, right?
Right. And she also had an all black contact in that eye.
Yeah,
it was awesome. One of my favorite moments of that night.
Yeah, again, like don't treat her as though she's a separate entity though, right? So she needs to be their women's representative. So that she needs to. I mean, basically, it was the same way like when Brody Lee brought in Anna Jade to the Dark Order. Like, you know, you have to give her wins. You have to allow her to beat people, not just win, beat people down. And that's what this has to come to. Like, fuck, I don't give a shit. Like, don't put a title on her, but like, have her be menacing.
Mhm.
People forget, like, I don't care how small you are, but like Alexa Bliss is a menacing fucking character. She's a menacing person out there. She has characteristics about her that, you know, poke and prod at you anyways.
Yeah,
And
that or
that's-
tag her up with the bunny because they're kind of the same thing.
Mm.
It's too convoluted because of the AFO and all that. So
That all broke up though.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. I saw fucking JR like Bunny and the Blade or Butcher and the Blade are going right now, and they showed that they're still with AFO as far as with
Yeah, but this is dark. They're just not. When they're on like real TV, they'll change their background. It won't reflect that anymore. Because Hardy's with his brother, Andrade's with the other dude. Like it's just done.
Right.
It's done. Which, by the way, fucking actually, Allie or the Bunny should be making more of a legitimate run in the women's division for either one of those titles because she's a veteran. First of all, people don't realize how long she's been at it, and has been with some of the biggest names in the ring, and is just good. We've seen it when they let her.
Yeah, former Impact women's champion.
Fucking put her in there, guys. Put her, because then we'll get to some of these other matches. Right now, the Men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament final: Samoa Joe and Adam Cole. Baby. I mean, you're not going to have a bad match with these guys.
right.
You're just not.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even mad at the ending. I really wasn't. Like, he won it clean, right? None of the guys came out, or did the one come out? Yeah, one
Bobby
came
Fish.
out.
Yeah, that was
Bobby Fish came out. Joe kind of took care of him.
It was at that point I started thinking, oh, look, distractions.
Well, and I'm the guy who will look at presentation, right? So Samoa Joe came out with the black and green, which he's worn several times before, like TNA, NXT, WWE, whatever, ROH. But Cole came out wearing pink. And I was like, oh, this is a pretty fucking huge factor right here. And so I kind of knew at that point, because you don't really have the guy or the person winning do that unless, or I mean, that's something you do to see kind of like foreshadowing of the winner in my mind.
Well, and usually so is like the big grand entrance. And,
like Rancid playing.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, and then they totally fucked all that up when they did the women's match. But let's finish with this one though, guys. Again, great match. Adam Cole wins. I could watch these two just have a great feud, and I'd be happy. Hopefully they do. And I kind of, Adam Cole kind of had to be that guy.
I think they only had one match before in NXT. I don't even think they have like an
I don't
ROH
even think
match.
they had a match in NXT.
No, I think they had one on maybe ROH or some indie, maybe
Pro Wrestling Gorilla, maybe, or some shit.
something like that. Yeah, I think once maybe. Yeah, Bliss is no longer evil on Raw. I love it. Love that she's just back. What they do with her, who knows? But then we get to the women's match, and it's Dr. Britt Baker, Ruby Soho, and like we said, you see Cole come to the ring in the pink, and you're like, all right, he's playing an homage. He's gonna be the winner. Well, then you see Britt come out with fucking Fozzie's guitar player, who's like the house guitarist for AEW, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget his name. Danny, I know you're in chat. I know you'll throw it out there for us. Like Rich Ward or something. Am I right?
I totally forgot it, which I should have written down, but
I want to say Rich Ward. Let me know if I'm right, Dan. So he comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay. She's got the guy playing guitar, playing her to the ring, blah, blah, blah. Britt Baker's going to win because they're giving her a special. Yep, Ward, okay. It's giving her that special entrance. Well, then you realize, like, oh, no, they did that, so it was a distraction for TV, so you didn't see them setting Rancid up. So then when, like, Justin Roberts goes and does the whole, ladies and gentlemen, Rancid, like, then you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, why would they bring Rancid in for her if she ain't going to come out winning? And then she loses, and it's like, dude, how many more times can you bring this girl who got just shit on at WWE
And
in
shit on
regards
her.
to her, right? You know what I mean? Like how are you going to do that and just you give her big matches right when you bring her in, but you won't put her over on anything?
Mm-hmm.
And instead, you're on the Britt Baker train still, which we've been on for like a year and a half, and it's great, but you got to fucking switch it up a little bit, guys. If Britt's that good, she will survive. Was Triple H in the main storyline every time? Was The Rock in the main storyline every time? No, there was fucking 8 of them, and they all had to bounce around and throw other people in between sometimes. You can't just run with the same fucking thing, dude. And that's what kind of Tony Khan's doing right now. And I'm not kind of digging it with some of this shit. Someone said it last week. Oh, whoever's the new champ, first match she's going to have is against Nyla. You know what I mean? It's the same fucking shit he's doing with this women's division. Why? That's the one biggest thing you get criticized on. And you still haven't changed it, even though you're like taking lighting tips from fans? What the fuck?
Let me just say it this way, because I don't think you quite understand where people are as far as talent wise. Britt Baker is a dynamo at this point, and
but you get what I'm. But again, fuck the characters and how big she is, though. She's been on that train for a year and a half. You get what I'm saying? You got to cycle other people in, and she can have a great personal because of how good of a character she is. You can throw her with someone and make it a 3-month like a beef match, not just a title match or some honor match like the ring or these remember the medals that Ivelisse and Diamante won, and they've never fucking done that again.
And here's the other thing too, to just point out and marry along with this. When you were talking about MJF not winning anything clean, Britt can't win anything without interference.
And that's true too. Yeah, and Britt
can't win anything without interference.
So again, it's one of these things where it's like. And the other thing too is you got Jamie Hayter there, and start turning that already. Like that's going to be a great feud and a great match when you have Britt and Hayter go at it finally. And Hayter's good. She is someone that can get pushed a little bit more solo on the roster. We all can agree on that. But instead you have the likes of fucking Jade Cargill, who time and time again proves she shouldn't be in the ring and on TV yet. She needs about another 6 months off TV, then a year of like fucking just making her way up and then push her into it. Maybe not so long because she really does have the look. I'll give her that. But I mean, when you're fucking making people pay for these matches, these shows for $50, it should be, and you're broadcasting the quality you're broadcasting and on the networks you're broadcasting. This shit should be top notch if you want a chance to dance with WWE. That's just plain and simple.
Top notch or top shelf?
You can fuck it, top shelf. I don't care, whatever you want to call it, top something. But like, it's
down brand, fucker. Come on,
it's just ridiculous, dude. And because again, where does Ruby go now? And now you brought Athena in, so now there's even more trouble. Yep. How are you going to make Ruby something?
Well, so I had a,
and we said it too. Sorry, Tommy, real quick, but we also said the bunny, nothing. Right? Where is she at? You know what I mean?
Right.
Fucking Ty could legitimately have her own run as a solos champ. They kind of did it, but like she's starting to finally get the persona with being with Sammy that she can make a more legitimate run because she's becoming a more well-rounded character on screen now too.
Well, and closer to heel too, which I think
and then way closer. And I think they're playing this whole thing perfect. Those two, and we'll get into that later. But I mean, that's just. I mean, you got Mercedes Martinez, you've got Shafir, you've got. I mean, shit, you just brought Maki back. Like, you guys got heavy hitters backstage. You got heavy hitters. Why is it just? We got Jade, who's green as fuck, Britt Baker, who you just refused to let her take a notch down a little bit, except for the one time she lost, and that was because you got to a point with Thunder Rosa, you couldn't deny it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
right,
for a company that has look, there she is, Jamie Hayter, right there. Like, that's a fucking star. Look at that girl walking to the ring right there, and she's badass in the ring.
Correct.
What was it? Her and Tony Storm fucking tore the house down a couple weeks ago, guys.
Well, so I mentioned it in our chat again too, is that if you got a couple out there that win the Owen Hart, both sides of the Owen Hart tournament, right? There's two things I thought were going to happen. I thought for a second you might get a proposal like just on the offset, like maybe Cole wanted to fucking do that or something. I don't know. But since that didn't happen, you didn't set up for anything. Martha Hart's. I mean, I know you were going to talk about this, but the speech went way too fucking long. It's the middle of the fucking show. We had fucking 5 hours of this shit. Like, you can't have talking, and I mean, unless you were clearly kind of telling people, like, maybe the board above the ring was flashing, like saying, "Hey, go get your fucking beers right now," or something like that. I don't know, but like, and don't get me wrong, I understand. Like, you know, people were chanting, "Thank you, Martha." Like, this is a big deal for wrestling fans to finally be able to get something to actually honor Owen Hart in some way. But to not have like another wrestling couple come out maybe to challenge them for, I mean, they get title belts, so I assume like they're viable, right? Like, I mean,
I don't think they are. I think they won the tournament and they get the belt.
Oh yeah, no, they said that they're not, those titles are not titles that will be competed again for they're an award. They that was like their
fucking trophy then too. I mean, you can't have.
Well, they're going to put their names on the trophy like the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
fine.
First of all, though, you're 100% right, and we said that in our little chat last night, or on whatever night it was on. Sunday. We said that it was, if this thing doesn't end with some sort of interruption, you just wasted my fucking time on a show that's already a little too longer than I wish.
Yes.
With this segment of, you know, and I love it. Owen Hart was great and all that stuff, but like, part of it does also feel like AEW's really in this hard because it's kind of a F you to WWE.
Yeah.
Because it's something they'll never be able to do because of the wife.
Right.
I hate to say that, but at the end of the day, we've seen them take some shots at WWE since they've been going, and more as of recent at times, that It's like, that's why they were really gung-ho with this. And I didn't need it. This could have been a segment on Wednesday. This could have been an online segment.
Well, yeah,
because it did nothing for any storylines at the end of it. It was literally that, and that didn't need to happen. Tommy, you're right. And if they were smart and they had and I don't know what the whole backstories are right now with contract. Like, that's a golden opportunity to bring Gargano and Candice in.
Well, either that or, again, leading up to, and I mentioned this in our private chat that night, lead up to Forbidden Door. Cole, Juice Robinson. That could have been a fucking gold mine right there. I mean, I know you're trying to play like Bullet Club and Undisputed Elite are cohesive, but fuck, dude, like Toni Storm's clearly not okay with Britt Baker, and we know that she's married to Juice Robinson. Like, kayfabe is broken in a lot of fucking aspects because of social media and shit like that. But that would be a couple that I would love to fucking see have come out in that situation too and been like, hey, by the way, good on ya. Like, and Juice doesn't have to do shit. He has a fucking title himself, man. Like, comes out, like, literally just holds up the U.S. title and be like, it's legit. And then fucking walk away, dude. Like, that's all you need to do, because I don't think Cole's ever held a championship in New Japan. He might have held the junior heavyweight, but I'm just saying, man, like,
no, and it would have been great to build for Forbidden Door if they were going to do it. And then, let's be honest, I still think at some point they're going to sign Candice and Johnny. And when that happens, it's like, that's your natural fucking go-to, is those two against... although, on one of Guevara's vlogs a few weeks ago, they teased Sammy and Ty versus... because Gargano was in the vlog, and it was versus him, and they were alluding to Candice. So, I mean, you never know. But yeah, that was time well wasted, since it didn't end in anything.
I don't think it was well wasted. It was just fucking wasted.
It was just...
Because, as you mentioned, have the title presentation or the trophy presentation any other time. Like, the pay-per-view, run the matches, fucking have Martha just come out and, like, raise both her hands or whatever, and then do the fucking speech and stuff like that on fucking Dynamite.
I think too, though, you gotta realize that probably there was some negotiation about what they were going to do, and I would also say that this is probably one of those mistakes that they'll learn from, because they're sure as hell not going to do something like that again in the middle of the show.
hope. We'll find out next year at Double or Nothing. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Zant making her debut in ring against Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Ty Conte. Odd seeing Kazarian and then Guevara and Conte together, especially when it's just, they're really granted Scorpio and Frankie, but let's be honest, they just needed a third person so they could have Ty and Sammy in this match. And yeah, they could have just cut the match, but the thing about it that I like, though, and anyone who's going to disagree and they're like, I hate it, well, then it's working. And that is just how obnoxious Ty and Sammy are with their relationship. And just, it's perfect because that's what it's supposed to be. If they were really just on there being how they are at home as a couple, no one gives a shit. No one wants to see that. Well, you know what I mean? No one wants to see that shit, but watching them thinking they're the shit and tonguing each other down in the ring and just totally forgetting Frankie Kazarian in the match to just look at each other and talk about how hot they each other are. Like, I love it. Great shit. This is heel shit, baby. Come on.
Well, Frankie even bailing on him.
And Frankie bailing on him was great.
Yeah. And literally all the talking you heard from Frankie towards Sammy was fucking brilliant, man.
Yes, you son of a bitch.
Hey, where the fuck are you going? Like just
that and him ducking and Sammy kicking Ty.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And him being like, oh my God, like this is the shit you do with that shit couple you hate. You know what I mean? And yeah, dynamite match till you have like a worthy couple, like maybe Britt Baker and Cole to build a real feud with those two. But I love it. Match overall was anything special. Paige Van Zant, what were we thinking on her debut?
Needs a lot of work. Because here's the thing, she was never really a jiu-jitsu artist as a fighter. She was a lot more stand up, a lot more kicks, and a few moves on the mat. So I don't know.
Definitely striker.
Bare knuckle.
And here's my thing: for how much training she's had to then, I think she did fine for what it was. What I didn't like, and they need to teach her, is how to play the crowd. Just way too much of this.
I also think,
and all that shit, like tone that shit down. You're in a match. Like,
I also think
you're making it look even more fake than it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also think she legitimately got her bell rung with one of those knees.
You think?
Yeah. Or some shit. I mean, she either got, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch again, but she either got a knee to the head or landed on her head weird. And I think she got her bell rung pretty good.
Well, that'll be interesting to see if she comes back.
I will say this: I don't know if they're trying to burn out Ethan Page as far as not getting legit shots right now, because he's had almost nothing. He's had less than what he had in Impact, and he got pissed off with where Impact was going with his character. They wanted to do that whole karate man shit too, but as far as a guy who, I mean, we all saw him last summer at Bauhaus, man. Like that dude is a fucking phenom, man. Like he can go. And to not have anything else lined up for him other than kind of just being Sky's backup.
Well, but that's just it. He's going to take it from Sky.
I think so too. Yeah. Like,
so that's why this is happening. And that's why it's going to get worse. And eventually he's going to fucking turn on Sky. Especially if Van Zant don't come back, like you may not have any more need for Dan Lambert, which to be honest makes me sad because fucking guy's great on TV.
He's a fantastic manager. Yeah. Well, I mean, really, because they kind of teased him as like a dual manager with Jake the Snake, like for Lance Archer. But
okay, so yeah, so he could still be around then. But I very much think, if not All Out, by fucking Revolution for sure, you're gonna see Ethan Page probably take that title off Scorpio Sky.
I will say this though too, like as far as all the iterations of titles, I think Sky's newest like color scheme, man, with the gold leather and the fucking purple championship or champion. Yeah, dude, like that's some straight up Lakers shit, man. Like that's fucking dope as fuck. Man.
Yeah, he's got Kobe's numbers in it. The 11 and 24 are on it.
You mean 8 and 24
or whatever? Yeah,
dipshit. Anyhow, I didn't see all that stuff. I just
hey man, I got one number. I'm happy. I don't watch basketball.
Also, I also like the fact of that match that Sammy and Frankie are no longer allowed to challenge for the title.
Thank God, man. You get to clear up some of that fucking muck in the TNT Championship, especially with Sammy, man. Like, I love him, but the way they went back and forth between him and Cody and him, Sky
Cody
involved.
did not do him any favors. with that.
No. Like, Cody doing that shit on his way out, man, like, that's some bullshit, and he knows it too, man. Like, as far as the business goes, if he knew he wasn't going to be able to sign or wasn't looking to sign or however the fuck that played out, man, like, to fucking force his hand to get that championship one more time, straight up fucking bullshit. To be the first time, 3-time TNT champion, what a fucking crock of shit. And it just mucked it all up, man.
Well, and the other thing too is at this point, like, let's just start giving him some good feuds, and maybe in a year and a half, he can start looking at a title picture. You know, get more, because let's be honest, the kid's going to hold the title eventually.
Yeah,
he's got a long career ahead of him, probably with A&W. They're going to pay him good to not leave because they know.
Did you say A&W?
he was
No, I
listening
said
to
AEW.
Danhausen.
To where, you know, I mean, they can build a future on him. You know what I mean? The kid's how old? 24?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, you know, they talk about the pillars of AEW, like, legitimately. If they keep, I mean, Jungle Boy still needs some growing to do, in my opinion. Darby Allin is fucking right there. Sammy's right there. MJF is fucking right there, too, man. Like, they are legitimately 4 guys that are going to prop up that fucking company for a long, long time to come. And, you know, there's obviously women as well that are going to be involved with propping this company up, you know. But as far as the guys go, man, like, obviously Kenny came over and he had a lot of injuries that he was still fucking dealing with. The Young Bucks are getting up there in age. Like, Paige was like the young guy that they brought in like right off the start. Like, they didn't bring in a lot of guys who screamed, I'm super young in this game outside of those 4 guys. And they picked the right 4 guys, man. Like, honestly, that's why they really need to think, like, where this MJF stuff is actually going to lead needs to probably be like a long-term, high-price fucking contract because, again, he's your best fucking heel. And Sammy's pretty fucking close behind, man, because he's an irritating heel, man. Like,
Which
he
is
knows how
so
to
great
fucking play that
because, like, he's, like, when you meet him, he's, like, the nicest kid.
dude, yeah, man.
Very
Like,
respectful to the fans.
yeah, man. Did you guys all know that I was on his vlog one time? It's not a big
Yeah,
deal.
the bowling alley. I saw that. I met him on the Jericho cruise, which he kind of was like hiding on. MJF next HBK for sure.
No, you're giving MJF not enough credit, man. He's better than HBK. Because I think so, man. Like, as far as
persona, yes. In
Yes.
ring, no.
okay, so he can't do some of like the over the top stuff that
But-
like HBK could, but dude, he
but
does
HBK could do
everything.
it.
Yeah, but
But
he does everything correct, right? Other than take a power bomb, he does not.
Yeah,
know
but
how
if
to do that
HBK doesn't take something correct, you would never know.
stuff. Well,
I'm just saying, like, you
Yeah.
have in ring talent. Don't get me wrong; they're both superstars. Yeah.
oh, you mean so like his whole fucking career after he broke up the Rockers? Okay, Dan. Jesus, what do you?
Kyle O'Reilly took on Darby Allin.
This one's not even been on the fucking pay per view.
This
Good
did
match,
not need
but
to.
yeah, there was no
didn't need to
for it.
be there. Didn't.
I don't even know
what
didn't
they were fucking doing
forward
with
a
this match,
thing.
to be honest.
This is because you got to have Darby Allin on TV because he's a big star for you.
You're right. You're
That's what it
right.
was.
And they in essence they fucked that up because they had to put him somewhere. And Sting legitimately got his leg messed up with that chair deal,
Mhm.
which is unfortunate. But this is I will say this. It was an awesome match that didn't need to be on there, but it was awesome. It was one of the better
Mhm.
matches. I mean, compared to some of the other stuff that was on there. And the fact that Kyle won, I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it was good shit. Good shit. All right, moving on then. AEW Women's World Championship. Thunder Rosa retains over Serena Deeb. Thunder.
Man, and
Rosa.
I love Thunder Rosa and I love Serena Deeb, and it was a fine match, but I was bored. I was already bored.
It was hard going into this match with any energy, and it's not because we don't think that they can have a good match, because they proved when they fought for the NWA Women's Championship that they can fucking go. But this was a long fucking night of wrestling, man. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like going to the worst indie show you can fucking think of, man. Like, everything just fucking drags. You hate your life by the end of it, man. Like, these could have all been fucking 5-star matches, and by this point, I'm over it, man. 3 hours and 3.5, 4 at the very fucking max, man.
It's like going to a 30-person
So,
open mic.
Well, hang on. Here you go. You
Right.
had 9 other matches, and the ceremony for the Owen Hart stuff happened all before this title match.
Yeah.
9 other matches.
I mean, I mentioned earlier, like
That is including the buy-in match, which if you really look at it, that buy-in match was like 10 minutes before they went live. So
Yeah,
it
because
basically
it-
was part of the show.
Yeah, because of the issues they had. Now, I mentioned it earlier. I spent most of Sunday with a migraine and fucking tension headache in bed with fucking 0 lights and like basically trying to sleep away the fucking day. And the only thing I
with
really
that-
woke up for was this fucking pay per view. So like I pretty much slept the whole fucking day, and I was fucking exhausted for this match, and which sucks so fucking bad, man. Like they back into this with fucking the title matches that really meant something. Like, I mean, yes, I know like TNT and TBS are legit titles, but they are still your second tier of titles. And you backload the fucking show with the women's tag and the heavyweight championship. Like, dude, you need to fucking like mix this up a little bit. You need to put like, because the Bucks have gone first or second in pay per view before just to get it out of the way, and it's a fucking banger. Like, you need to fucking move some of these around, man. Like, this one probably should have gone up like second or third in the fucking night, man, just to be worthy of what it was.
Yeah, here's the problem. You have a match with 2 people who we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
They did the NWA stuff. But like, here's the thing. They only do the 4 pay-per-views a year, but they do so many special off shows, the Saturday Night of Champions shows, the themed shows where there's always like title man. And to be real honest, I just feel like they didn't give this enough lead in. I don't think there was a lot of time to build anything, and they were just kind of going off of their previous shit, which you just can't do anymore. And then on top of that, you can't do anymore when, again, I love Serena. I love her, but going forward, give the girl a talker. Make her, she can say some lines, get to the point, but she needs someone that can cut her promos first. She talks, and that makes me lose a bit of interest just because it's so like shaky. You know what I mean? Like, she seems just so unsure, and I get it. It's not easy being on a mic and in front of thousands of people, but guess what? I've done it too, and I know that the nerves are there. But like, you still gotta, stiff. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's a good one, Dan. And it just takes away from the match, especially when you got Thunder Rosa, who is all about emotion on her promos and her on camera and stuff. So all that emotion, it's all I'm in your face, and it was just kind of like, cool, we're going to just see a really good match. But like, to me, it was, we're going to see a really good match, but I didn't really think about the title, and it wasn't like, oh, and there was no thought in my mind that Thunder Rosa was going to lose this match. So it was like, whatever.
It's very fair. I mean, I really do love Serena Deeb.
Oh, she's so good.
She's a phenomenal athlete. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She's just not that believable as a champion, and I think what you said is correct. I didn't even think about it, but like, her promo skills are lacking as far as like you really getting behind her. And I think, we all know she's a killer. Like, she literally is training people to do this fucking same exact thing. She's a high level yoga instructor as well. Like, she legit knows a lot of things and how to actually fucking break down somebody's body and shit like that. But you just seem to not care, because it's kind of the same thing as like Dean Malenko, right? Like, we all knew he was a fucking killer, but he's real. He couldn't work the mic, right? So you can put him in a match, and they would need to squash people, and that's about it.
It came off like they told her to say it, and she was unsure about it.
Yeah.
It's funny because
it's
like
WWE under the bus and shit,
right?
Too, so.
Well, and what's funny too, and only JR is going to understand this, but it's like, her in-ring work is like someone we know who behind a microphone in a radio studio could produce and sound good on air and be funny and entertaining in a 60-second window. But the moment he had to do that on stage in front of a crowd,
couldn't do it.
He had to have notes in his hand, and it came off fucking horrible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. She needs help with that, and that's what managers are for, guys. I know all these big companies are into like not really having him anymore, but that's a fucking lost art in this world of wrestling, man. Because I mean, that's such a big part of it. So many storylines, so many names, superstars, and moments have happened because of managers and valets. You know what I mean? If one of the most iconic WWE moments, what Macho Man proposing to Elizabeth after she takes out Sherry after she's beaten the shit out of him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Would have never happened if those two chicks weren't there. You know what I mean? Bobby Heenan and anything he's involved in, he enhanced all of it. Paul Heyman, anything he's involved with. I love the Bloodline, partially because Paul Heyman makes me love the Bloodline.
Right. So if AEW is looking for a manager, Top Shelf Tom Chilstrom is available.
Send him your resume.
And Dan, that's cool, but Dustin's another guy that he's so good in the ring. But what did he ever do on the mic? He did good shit as Goldust, but he was
his Goldust promos are fucking legit. But yeah,
but
his
that's
Dustin
him doing, and back then that shit was like pretty scripted.
Yeah.
Until the Attitude Era, and then he was kind of doing all that crazy shit.
Yeah, no, Dustin Reynolds, Dustin Rhodes, that character is terrible. Goldust on the mic was fucking legit because he could be goofy, he could be fucking
and it's like
a
Cody
weirdo.
Too.
I like Seven's only promo though.
What about Black Rain?
Right. A lot of people didn't like Cody because he had that lisp really noticeably back in the days when he came in the WWE originally and all that. So I mean, it's and I get, and I think it's fair to say that for as good as Dustin and Cody are, neither one are on the level that Dusty was when it came to a microphone.
Dusty's a natural. Like Dusty had natural charisma though. Like it's not that his kids don't, but there's a difference between like being charismatic in a group of friends or like a circle outside of like first ring friends of friends kind of thing, right? But Dusty had that ability, like same thing like Ric Flair, as far as like you see a mic, you see a camera, and it's fucking switched on. You have that charisma. That's where your best actors, that's where your best fucking musicians. As soon as like a musician hits the stage and they're fucking all about it, like they're chatting up between songs and everything's fucking flowing, and that's charisma. Dusty had that. Ric Flair had that. I mean, fucking Hogan had that up to a certain point, but like that's what you see it. And some of these guys, like again, Cody and Dustin didn't have that natural charisma. Cody's developed his fucking promo game, but like it's not the same, man.
Yeah,
it's like me with you stiffs. Natural charisma, fucking losers.
Okay.
Got him.
Hey man, Bottom Barrel hangs out with Bottom Barrel, so I'm just saying. Thunder Rosa did win that match.
I muted him just because I'm tired of that shit again.
So we'll see. I don't know. Again, they're gonna. I don't know, man. Like they got to do something for Thunder Rosa. She's got to have something big in her future.
Did you see that though? Tim Nella fucking agree with me, baby.
He must have accidentally agreed with you.
I don't think he can accidentally agree with me, man.
My guess he's agreeing with you. I'm assuming he's agreeing with you as something wrestling wise, but not
in your life decisions.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
Oh, you fucking haters.
So we have the Jericho Appreciation Society against Eddie Cakeson, Santana Ortiz, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, Anarchy in the arena. And okay, so I get it. The whole music thing was just so they could cut it out eventually, but it went too fucking long with it.
I'm sorry. I loved the music playing the whole time. I loved it.
If you guys didn't hear, is an homage to New Jack, by the way, because apparently he wanted his music to go until he was fucking in the ring. Apparently,
his shit would go like all match. You watch some of his ECW matches, his song would play the entire match.
So Jericho even said in the after interview that that's what that was for. So there you go. Which is weird. I didn't think Jericho gave a shit about New Jack, but whatever.
Well, they were in WCW for a minute together, weren't they?
ECW for a minute.
Oh,
never WCW.
I thought New Jack had like a real short, like a couple months of WCW.
No,
I don't think so.
No, he had one tryout for WWE, and they said thanks, but no thanks. Even at the end of the Attitude Era. See, Tim Noah, everything he said about natural charisma was on
I already
point.
put that up there, and then you have to go back and sell it for yourself.
Right.
Jesus God.
Try me now,
Um,
motherfucker.
Okay, so one guy agrees with you, still doesn't mean shit.
But it's your fucking dude, man.
That doesn't mean nothing.
I mean, Tim Nella he's not some fucking dude, man. He's been on the show, dude. Don't fucking try and sell out our guest host like that. Or
I'm not. Oh, the guy who yells at all our guests is going to tell me I can't treat guests bad.
What a dude.
Yes, dude.
Yeah,
Somebody has to be fucking nice to these people.
Oh, God, you're such an asshole.
Natural charisma, baby.
No, that's not charisma. You can wipe what you have off your bottom of your shoe.
Sure. Natural BS. What do you fucking want to call it, dude?
I've seen charisma. You are not charisma.
Fucking
You're more
jealous
just
too much, huh,
fucking.
guys?
You're like 90%
No.
bullshit,
You're 90% bullshit, 10%
and like
annoyance.
10% Jesus is in there somewhere.
What's that song? Hey, Jealousy? Yeah, okay.
Who's Joe C?
Who's Chelsea, you mean?
I thought you said
Anyhow.
Joe C.
Anarchy in the Arena match. Didn't need to happen.
I know.
Not
I've
this
seen
pay-per-view.
that, Timmy. By the way, way to go, brother. I love that. I've seen a little Jello.
Well, that's
walking.
awesome.
Hell yeah. Okay, so you didn't think it needed to happen, Tim?
No, because your story is with 3 of those 5 guys.
Right. A lot of
Jericho-
randomness.
Yeah, like you didn't need to have Danielson and Moxley in this.
And no Regal around. at
Yeah,
all.
without Regal, that was not nearly as good. It was fun. It was
Mhm.
awesome. They
Because
did
when
a
they
lot
play
of
the promo for it, really made it feel like we were going to see Regal get some shots in that.
Yeah.
territory.
yeah.
That might be like a 6-on-5, which would have been cool. But also, like, again, by this time in the night, it probably should have been scratched. And I know some people were just dying for it because it was going to be for sure the only hardcore match on the fight or on the night. But fuck, dude, like this one just put me over the top, man. Like knowing that I still need to fucking watch a tag team match I didn't give a shit about. I was like, fuck, dude, just get me the fucking title match for the love of God. I just need to go to fucking bed.
How you doing? Good to see you.
But
Everything's good except Tom Chillstrom.
Yeah, because I'm top shelf. I'm the best, motherfucker.
Jesus.
Mute my mic, motherfucker. Mute my mic.
Okay. All right, I will. Oh.
all right. Sorry. Hang on. So we were talking about the Anarchy. What's his name? Matt Menard bleeding like a frickin'
Oh my God,
pig
yeah. He was
early
stuck
on.
like crazy. Do you want me to
Holy-
unmute you or are you going to be a douche again? I can't
Oh,
hear
did
you.
you-
You're
Did
muted.
you put him in timeout again?
I
He
put
did
him in
not.
time-
He's fucking lying. I can see when you do it on. Oh, maybe I'm on the wrong fucking page. Well, fuck you, man. No. By the way, Matt Menard Bernard looked fucking way better with the fucking blood dripping down, man.
I'll tell you what.
Dude,
the single.
There's no. I don't think they'll ever do that again though, because fans were getting blood on them when that happened.
Oh yeah, that's not.
There
good.
was fans that were you could see like had blood on their shirts and shit. Like that's a whole new problem.
That's
when
a
they're bleeding on
lawsuit
the
waiting to
fans.
happen, y'all.
You know what I mean?
I
Well,
will
you
say
have to
this.
have them testing, right? Like you have to tell those fans, like, okay, here's their test results for Hep A, B, C, all that sort of shit, man. Like they have to do blood
Just to
testing.
go to a
first
wrestling show, you got to start going through doctors now.
I will say this though: the all of it was fine and good and great, and as Tom said, in a different place, in a different pay-per-view, this might have been absolutely awesome, and I still think it was awesome. But it was like everything that happens with AEW. It was longer than it needed to be. But I will say that the spot where Kingston brings out the can of gas, jumping cat shit. I mean, I've never seen anything more realistic. I've often said, these guys bring out bats and chairs and they're hitting each other. Well, how come nobody brings a knife or a gun? Like, oh, we're gentlemen. We're not going to use those. But him bringing out that
it happened
can of gas-
once. Happened once, and I don't
Well,
think
I
TV
know.
will ever let
I
that
know.
happen again.
I know. But him bringing out that can of gas and pouring it all over him when Danielson had him beat in the label lock, it was awesome. It was just awesome to me. And the way that Danielson lost with Hager choking him by the rope, and it was
And the walls of Jericho.
I truly enjoy, and I truly enjoyed the whole thing.
Mhm.
Even though it was too long, it sort of re-energized me. And I'm not a huge fan of the deathmatch shit.
I've never really been either, but I've been to some shows. But fuck, I don't know, man. There was like a couple weeks ago that I went like deep down the deathmatch wrestling hole.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of it.
Yeah. Timmy, absolutely. I mean, they certainly Kyle O'Reilly and Darby could have been cut, but as we mentioned,
not that it was bad, it just didn't need
not
to
it was
be
bad.
on the card.
It didn't need to be there. And I mean,
to be real honest,
we didn't
Jade and Anna Jay didn't need to be in there.
That didn't need to be there. And to be honest, also, I mean, other than the fact that the Bucks got to be on the paper, we really didn't need the Bucks and the Hardys, because it was kind of a.
Well, and I'll even throw out a couple other matches. You didn't need the Owen Hart tournaments or finals on the pay-per-view. You didn't need to. You could have, honestly, I would have actually preferred, and this is just, kind of retrospectively, a King of the Ring style. Owen Hart was synonymous with King of the Ring. I think next year you do it a one night only. You have the 2 fucking tournaments go, and then you have like a couple title matches in there. Literally, you have them fucking go, men's tournament, women's tournament, like back and forth, and then all of a sudden you have like the women's championship match, like AEW championship match, then the women's fucking title match, or crowning the tournament winner, and then men's tournament winner, then AEW championship. Like that's how you do it. Like that's how you introduce like a 5th tournament or 5th pay-per-view in my mind. But that's
but they're just not trying to do it. But it could have definitely been some sort of like maybe do a lead-in show the weekend, like Friday night, like make your Rampage the finals for this going into the Forbidden Door, and then throw maybe a couple matches in there that you got the New Japan and the roster there. Might as well, whatever. Anyways,
I mean, why don't you have a 5th pay-per-view, introduce it as Heart Attack. I mean, HAR. No, I'm serious. Like HART attack. Like that way you crown the fucking champion, one night only tournament for both men and women, like they did with King of the Ring.
Well, first of all, they don't do anything one night. Like AEW has not done any tournament that took one night.
That's
and then
I'm saying.
No, I know, but then B,
I mean, maybe not Heart Attack. It's a rough name. It's just,
this is the guy that wants to be your manager, folks.
Dude, JR, that was off the top of my head in fucking 5 minutes of 5 seconds of thinking. All right, get fucked, okay?
Rowdy, it's
clown.
not.
You come
I think
next time.
All Out is like their one they consider Mania. I think, and it probably will have 15 matches on it this year.
It'll be stupendous, and they'll maybe make it 2 nights.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully not, because I still hope to go this year again, because I had a blast last year.
Yeah. So I have a theory on this. Is Forbidden Door is they're opening into United Center, so they don't use Sears Center or whatever the fuck it's called in the outskirts. Like they're trying to be in Chicago. So I think this is like their draw into being full on Chicago, because United Center is like this is the biggest arena.
Yeah. No, and they've talked already about how the Now Arena is definitely getting outgrown for the show.
Correct.
So I hope they just do it one more year there. If they do, I'll go for sure, knowing, because once it goes to the United Center, I'll probably not go.
Yeah, because
I don't want to deal with downtown Chicago. Fuck that noise.
And plus, now that you have more people, you're further away.
Yeah, man. If it's in Hawthorne Heights again, I'll be there Labor Day.
That was fun.
Good time, and everything was right by each other. Which is perfect. So now we get into the AEW Tag Team Championship match. The Jungle Boy Luchasaurus takes on Team Taz and Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Jungle Boy Luchasaurus retain their titles. Surprising to me. I really thought we were going to see a Christian turn on Jungle Boy this match. I really thought it was going to happen.
I thought,
now, sorry, Jared, but now it appears that maybe Christian, and like I think it still ends up being him against Jungle Boy, but I think it's gonna go through because you notice how he was carrying Jungle Boy like Luchasaurus would, and
Yeah.
he was kind of like so. I think that's where the friction will start first. Is him and Luchasaurus.
Yeah,
But-
because Luchasaurus almost gave him kind of a sideways look when he did that, didn't he?
Yeah, most definitely. And I'll tell you this, so the one thing I took away from this is even though Swerve and Lee aren't a legit tag team, they're just two guys getting thrown together. Same thing with Team Taz. They weren't really a tag team. They're just kind of Team Taz, so they were teaming up. But to be honest, both of them could become permanent tag teams, could get a tag team name and become legitimate because they worked so well together. I was impressed by both of those teams to the point that I was really hoping they were going to win too. One of them, I kind of thought Starks and Hobbs was going to get it for a second there. Man, they had some close calls on that, some real close counts. And then there, at a point I was like, dude, I wouldn't even be mad if they won. I wouldn't be mad if Lee and Swerve won. Like any of them would be good because they're just killing this match right now. The surprise winner was the champs.
Swerve is so freaking awesome out of all of those guys. I mean, and I love Ricky Starks. I'm not 100% on board with Hobbs. And Keith Lee does some amazing shit for a man his size. And Luchasaurus, I'm sorry, he's a rerun at this point. Everything he does in the ring is the same exact thing he did the last match. And so I think that has to come sooner than later because in my mind, it's holding Jungle Boy back a bit.
Well, yeah, and they're going to cut that tie eventually.
I don't know about that one, Dan. I think Starks will get a title shot, even as the FTW, or he'll have another title. I think it depends on where they go with their title scene. Not only with a possible trios championship, but if they add a third men's title, like men's singles title, I think he'll get another run with something else other than just the FTW, because the FTW is not technically sanctioned by AEW, so it should have no effect on his actual ability to get title matches. But fair point.
All right,
everybody has their opinions. Yours is just wrong.
Let's get into this main event because we are rapidly running out of time.
Holy cow, we are.
To the point that we're not going to probably get to preview Hell in the Cell like I was hoping we would get a chance to. Because that's this weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. More pay-per-views.
Hell yeah. Anyways, AEW World Championship
Premium
main
live
event.
event.
Hangman Adam Page defends against CM Punk. 2000 was it? When was the last time Punk was a champ? I just read it. What was it? Since 2013, first time Punk is a world champion. I don't know, man. I just didn't think him or Brian needed to have a title run.
Sorry, Dan just told me I talk too much. You're watching the show still, so I don't know what the fuck you want from me. No, you're right. Danielson and Punk did not need a title, period. Not the main title. I understand why they did it in the regards as far as like Page really isn't delivering. You might need to actually have a reset with Dark Order in a way too, where this might now bring them all back together, because Dark Order is fucking barely trading water at this point. So I don't know. I think you take it off of Page because it was an underwhelming title run in a lot of aspects. But then you look forward to the next run of his, which I think solidifies him as a legit top guy across the industry when he gets that second title run.
I think part of the story that was told, and this was at the end when he had his moment of decision whether to use the belt against Punk or not. I think that's certainly going to lead into, and he's always had the self-doubt, and now he'll probably self-doubt about he should have hit him with it. And thus going fully over to the Dark Order. I think with Punk, and when we talked about it before, I think in hindsight, it makes sense because I think you can have Punk hold on to that and make a couple of defenses against people up and comers that he can help put over, even though they don't go over. And then I mean, ultimately, I think what you say is correct. What we talked about at the beginning. I see Wardlow taking this off of him, and then MJF coming back and getting his revenge on Wardlow and running for a long stinking time.
Yeah, I mean, because if Wardlow is all of a sudden now all elite, you got to figure all his other wins still count. And if you never put him into the rankings because he wasn't technically an employee, he still had matches. And so now you got to look at the fact that apparently, I mean, his record going into this match was like something like 30-6 or like something fucking ridiculous and shit. But I mean, yeah, I think he's in the top 5. So I think that you're right. That might be. I don't know if it's the first one because I think you got to give Punk at least probably till All Out. But who knows? What do I know?
Well, and it's kind of hard too because I mean, is he a face then, Punk? He kind of was back and forth through this feud. First opponent prediction for Punk. Oof. My guess is it'll be a young guy because I think Punk will do the whole I want to give the young stars a chance and shit like that. So yeah, I don't know.
Miro, fuck it. Why not?
Could be Miro.
Yeah.
If he gets to just pick someone to do a title shot with, maybe Martin. He's always been impressed by Darius or Dante. So like. And Darius is gone, and they're gonna. I mean, at this point, why would you put the time and money into floating Dante around with just random other tag team guys when he's had some banging singles matches already, and he can go.
Dante's
just start
match against Sky.
Right. And the other part is,
and I know he is, but I'm just saying like that because he ain't gonna win it. Let's be honest, guy's not dropping that this week to Dante.
And the other part of the problem though too with Dante is we haven't seen him do any promo work really of note. And
his first crack at the mic was challenging Sky actually.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. That's a good guess, Mike. I mean, does Page get a rematch? Does Jericho challenge him? Does Lance Archer come out of nowhere?
I think it's going to be somebody that we haven't seen for a while. And I think Tom, maybe it could be Miro. It could be Brian Cage,
a guy who got signed and is sitting right now. So, re-signed and he's sitting.
Yeah. They've got plenty of stuff, plenty of people to work with. Maybe who knows? Maybe if Kenny does get better to the point where he can come back, maybe it's Kenny.
Yeah, I like that. I like that matchup, Omega and Punk. The reason I was laughing, by the way, too, is I have a feeling that some of these guys were signed to AEW contracts until they can get a TV deal worked out for ROH. And then some of these guys, like you got to figure out the roster has to get split. Right? So
you're right.
One of the things that again my buddy brought up was what about Claudio or Cesaro?
Yeah,
like Gargano. Like some of these guys fit better in ROH's previous mold, which I don't think they want to really fucking mess with, right? But they want to bring in names to hold that fucking place together because.
Hey, real quick, Jared, do we still have to be out at 2 on the dot?
Nah.
Okay. I'm and again, I'm just thinking as far as if you're looking at where ROH needs to go for their roster, Gresham is clearly still holding a title. You signed Roosh, which makes sense as far as him probably going over to ROH and doing a lot of crossover. Andrade will probably be over there. Samoa Joe is your TV champion. He'll be over there. Guys like Daniel Garcia won the Battle of Los Angeles for PWG, so he'll probably go over there. And some of those characters and some of those wrestlers over at ROH that just, when they were really getting to the end, that just didn't make fucking a lot of sense. Guys just who aren't names, And again, I can't even fucking know. I don't know who the fuck was there holding titles like some of these pure champions and stuff. I'm like, I don't give a fucking shit who this guy is. Like Wheeler Yuta, legitimately, I give a shit about because it's just fucking good development, man. So I think some of these guys who are signed, we say like they'll get a title shot because they're coming out of the woodwork. I think some of these guys are built for ROH, and I don't think Brian Cage is there, but I think until you kind of divvy up.
No, you're right, because I can see them holding on to Dalton Cooper just so when they can relaunch ROH.
Castle. Dalton Castle.
Castle, sorry. Or Cooper. He is a guy out of Iowa.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, man.
Yeah, you're right.
Goddamn names that we got to remember, you know what I mean? And when they start sounding like the same thing.
But you see, JR and I are good at names. I'm good at names. JR is an old, decrepit fuck.
I don't get how this motherfucker can act like he's perfect when he's been off so many fucking times on shit.
If we were to go through
so many times.
Mark, every time you fucked up, Tom.
So many times.
Yeah, but no one has. Not even
because we don't even.
You guys don't
because
fucking
you
know.
Fuck up so many times, it would be a useless exercise.
What with my predictions?
With
I fuck up on the fact that I don't know. I'm not fucking writing the stories.
No, just with everything that comes out of
First
your body.
Of all, I'm goddamn immaculate over here. Okay, you guys are welcome for me fucking being here. Okay. Second of all, shut your fucking mouths and realize where the fucking draw really lies. Okay, go ahead, Jr. Might mute my mic right now. Okay,
go ahead. I don't think I'll mute your mic. I think I should read what's in the private chat.
Sure, why not? Go ahead, fucking start talking about things that don't fucking appeal to you at all.
Okay, well, if we're gonna talk about things that don't appeal to anybody at all.
Hell in a Cell.
Yep, Hell in the Cell. Real quick, here's what we're gonna do because we do need to dip out.
Yeah, that's true. I don't fucking know a single fucking match.
Yeah. So. I'm gonna go through the card and just starting with Tommy, then going to JR, and then I'll say, and then go to the next match. Let's just pick our winners. We'll get in depth on this show next week when we cover the results with a special guest. It's been a couple of weeks. We had Bryce on last week, kind of an unplanned guest. Tonight was just us three boys, but we're going to bring a guest back. We'll talk about that, though, after we go through these results. Hell in the Cell match, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins.
Cody, because I think this is leading towards him getting the title shot.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be Cody, and but I will say of note on Raw last night, Seth did take a couple of pokes at AEW, and one of the great lines was, "You're not allowed to bust the throne and then think you can come back and sit on it."
I did hear that, and I agree. I think Cody wins this one as well. Raw Women's Championship: Bianca Belair versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch.
Bianca Stunham win. I'm sorry, I jumped the line.
No, that's fair. I was thinking there, and I think this is Bianca Belair's match here. And it's good to see Asuka back on a pay-per-view. Thank God.
Her English has gotten a lot better, by the way, as well.
Sure.
I'm going to go with, Bianca wins. Next match, Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel.
There's no reason to think Ezekiel should win. He didn't win when he was alive. He's not going to fucking win now. Sorry, this is KO's match.
I think the only reason that Ezekiel wins is to continue KO going crazy about the whole thing.
I hope not. If so, I'm really sad that he signed with them again.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley is taking on Omos and MVP.
Dark Horse MVP, but it's going to be Lashley. There's no reason for him to lose to Omos or to MVP at this point. But who knows? It's WWE.
I don't even know what the hell's going on. But yeah, Lashley.
Yeah, me too. Bob Lashley wins. This would probably be the one match I'm actually excited to see. Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles taking on Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and Edge.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody please give Liv Morgan a goddamn Liv Club or Morgan Club or some shit like that, man. Give her
in, man. She's in.
Dude.
I bet, and so I'll go out of line on this. They win, and I bet Liv gets the pin to cement her as part of the club with these two.
You need to at this point, because the one time we saw Finn versus AJ at Bragging Rights, whatever it was, at Target Center, that was a fucking
TLC.
Sorry, TLC. Sorry, see, I made a mistake. God forbid.
Too bad we're not counting again.
Yeah,
I'm counting it right here.
That's fine. Go ahead, start a fucking list here. I'm gonna start fucking naming all the people that fucking Ace can't fucking name. Anyhow, no,
What?
yeah, Liv gets a pin. This is fucking great. I'd love to see Finn and AJ go to town on everybody, man. That's a fucking hell of a team.
Yeah, I'm really pumped that they got Liv in that with them. That's just awesome.
Yeah, first and second leaders of Bullet Club right there, baby.
Mhm.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Did you pick a winner there, JR?
I agree.
United States Championship. Theory defending against Mustafa Ali.
God, I mean, let Ali go. So, I mean, Theory wins this and he retains. Like, you gotta let fucking Mustafa Ali go, man. Like,
This is going to be a squash match.
unless you're giving him like a strong title reign right now as maybe like a consolation prize for what you fucking did to him forever, like that's it. But no, Austin Theory wins this, man. Sorry.
Undisputed tag team championship match. The Usos taking on Riddle. Wait, is that right? Oh yeah, and Shinsuke Nakamura because Orton's out.
Yep.
I forgot about that. That's
Orton and
insane.
Boogs are both out.
So yeah, yeah. So the Usos,
Why even? I mean, just between you and me, why even have the match? You know who's going to
Exactly.
win.
Yeah.
And looking at this so far, unless something changes on Friday, only one actual match in Hell in the Cell. And that is the Cody Rhodes Seth Rollins match.
Wow. Way to have a whole fucking pay-per-view about one fucking match then. I mean, unless they're calling the ring the cell now at this point, but
I mean, why wouldn't you put Bianca, Asuka, and Lynch in a cell? Or, you know what, put that six-way dance in and put Morgan, Balor, AJ. Nah, that needs to build more. That championship match could easily be in there. I don't know why. Hopefully something changes before then and they add one more. Otherwise, it's always sad. Like, remember the one year they did the Extreme Rules pay-per-view and there wasn't even an Extreme Rules match on the card? Like, ugh.
yeah, or that, or when they, what was it, the Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins, where it's fucking red, the whole fucking Hell in a Cell. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, and it will be red again probably. So, but anyways, that's going down Sunday. We will talk about that entire show and the results and what we thought about it with special guest Nerd D coming back on the show Tuesday night. So join us for that. Can you have Jake on? I don't know who Jake is. Do I know Jake?
Jake Hudson, probably.
Okay.
Jake,
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. Who's G Locks?
He's probably a shill.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, man. Seriously, Double or Nothing, way too long. Still a lot of good matches. Just wish I stayed up for all of them. Hell in a Cell, I'm actually looking forward to see Cody win because I think that's the only way you break up Roman Reigns having two titles is to have Cody win one of them somehow. Or if you're going to actually just make it an undisputed champion, Cody Rhodes has to be your next one. Has to. There's no other fucking way. I'm just going to say that.
Pitiful.
Yeah, it is a pitiful. Honestly, actually, when you mentioned like just Finn and AJ and Liv, dude, I'm way more excited about that trio match. Than
dude, watching the last 2 weeks of watching Liv Morgan be a part of that has been so awesome.
Well, her whole trajectory, like even before like Riot Squad was done with. I mean, she's really hitting her fucking stride right now, man. Like, again, we mentioned it before as far as like after some pay-per-views, like Elimination Chamber and shit like that. Like, they're really not fucking working their crowd favorites as well as they should at this point. But
no,
I think they're not aware of who the crowd favorites are, to be honest.
Oh, I mean, you don't think they have an ear in the arena? Of course not.
No, old man definitely don't, man.
Oh, he doesn't give a fuck.
He takes those hearing aids out when it's time for the women to get out there.
You know this to be true, Tom. He does not care. In his mind, he is giving the best possible show.
He's the audience.
Business.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's the audience for himself.
That's how come those two poor fucking idiots, Baron.
Which poor fucking idiots we're talking about here?
You mean, but you think of Happy Corbin and fucking Laugh Riot Moss or whatever it's
Madcap Moss.
These
fucking terrible ass fucking names.
Poor fuckers had to do that shit.
No shit.
You know, come on. That's how come. I mean, let's be honest. That's how come FTR had to shave their backs back when it's ridiculously garbage.
Mm-hmm. Shave their backs, get
The
fucking
man
shit
started
sprayed in
his
their fucking
very
trunks.
own. The man started his very own legitimate Kiss My Ass club.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the members?
Fuck,
Regal
I don't even know. Regal
and Jim Ross.
Bischoff. Jim
Yeah,
Ross.
Bischoff later, and then almost Trish Stratus. Almost.
There's other wrestlers though. I bet we could find the list.
But speaking of Trish Stratus, one little last fucking call out. Make sure you guys get your tickets for the Hall of Fame weekend at the George Tragos Lou Thez Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, July 21st through the 23rd. That's a Thursday through Saturday. We're going to be down there. We're going to have some fun. Ace is going to have his podcast with Wes Briscoe, and they're going to be doing their damn thing. So we hope to see you all there. I'm going to be doing some man on the street shit, plus also just fucking looking at all the exhibitions and doing the damn thing as I normally do.
Real quick, here you go. Hornswoggle, Bischoff, Zach Gowen, the one-legged wrestler.
Jesus,
Yeah,
they
Made him
would do that
kiss his
to him.
ass. Trish Stratus almost became it. Triple H almost did. Stone Cold almost did. These are the people he did the segments with. JR did. I think Shane did it.
Ugh, to your own son? What a fucking narcissist.
Foley did it in place of Melina. Regal, we said already. And I think they made Heartbreak Kid do it.
Good Lord. What a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
The sooner he
This
dies.
guy also wrote his own storyline, calling himself the genetic jackhammer, and was like making it look like he was banging Trish Stratus. So it's
and
like
Stacy Keibler
and Stacy Keibler.
And
And
he
all
almost
that.
wrote it in a fucking storyline that he almost banged his fucking daughter, or then Shane was going to be the father too. Let me just say it this way, and this is probably going against Twitch terms of service, but I will say it in a way that will go against some of those. When Vince McMahon is past this world, I will celebrate by having more than a few beers, and the only thing I will salute is WrestleMania, original Survivor Series, and then the fact that he gave people so much fucking money over the course of his lifetime. That's all I'm going to fucking celebrate with that dude. He is an absolute fucking narcissist loser, and I fucking hate him.
I mean, I'll still be sad. He gave me my
I'll be
80s.
sad
He
too.
gave me my 80s and 90s and
He gave
early
me
2000s.
he gave me the Tuesday Night Titans. He gave
Yeah.
me
He robbed us of fucking great
he gave
matches through
me-
the territories. He robbed us of AWA, WCCW.
But he
No.
did. But when he did that stuff, he did make it better.
when he did. Yeah,
Some of it.
absolutely, absolutely, a ton of
Up
it. he
until
made
like the
better.
last 15
Did we
years.
ever see Bruiser Brody in a WWE fucking match or WWF match? Fuck no. dude.
Probably
No,
would
because
have
he
if he
got
didn't get killed. Yeah, probably would have if he didn't get killed. Actually,
Maybe.
was he signed?
But he was never doing WWF stuff.
No, but I think he was like about to when he was coming
I think
back
he
from
was,
that
yeah.
trip.
and
Like
he was,
it was
I mean,
already
God,
talked. Yeah, it was like already done deal. He was going to do
I
it.
don't GRMI 0506. I don't give a shit if he changed the industry like no one other. He also ruined a good fucking portion of it, man. You understand?
man,
We're just getting
He gave us the team of Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan.
fair enough. Okay,
He gave
that's something
us,
else. Celebrate like Gorilla
There's a
and Jesse
lot
too.
of
The
shit that he
Rock.
gave us
Here's
that
the
was
problem.
really
People are
awesome.
forgetting the fact that like what he fucking destroyed trying to fucking win this fucking business. We could have had great matches if he just didn't think to himself
Here's-
like how
here-
to fucking swallow up every bit of competition, man. Look at the
It would have
lab we had
happened
between
anyways,
fucking
though.
Here's the
One,
reality,
it was
It was
Tom.
going to happen anyway.
Here's the reality. If Vern Gagne wasn't himself such a fucking narcissist and
True.
moron,
True.
he wouldn't have been done under.
Yeah.
I mean, look, let's be honest. When in this business, when that shit started happening, there were some people. There were three really. It was AWA, Crockett and his
WWF,
old shit down there.
WWF.
WWF, and it was the Florida, Georgia, that whole Crockett area down there. Those were the three, and then Texas to a little bit more degree in mid states, maybe, but the three of
and
them.
Stampede. I mean, out of Canada, you had
Out of
Stampede.
Well,
as
Calgary,
well.
but I'm not counting that because nobody could watch Calgary here in the States. All right.
True.
you could watch WWE, you could watch the wrestling on Turner, and you could watch the AWA on ESPN.
Right.
And the problem with both of those, the main problem with AWA was Vern couldn't get away from himself. And when he couldn't put because he couldn't trust anybody, he felt like he couldn't trust anybody because these guys left for more money because he wasn't paying them enough.
Right.
And so he couldn't trust anybody. So he put the belt on himself, Bockwinkel, or his fucking kid. And that was it.
Yeah, the best one out of them was Bockwinkel. The worst thing he did was fuck with Bret Hart. Now,
No.
That's where I gotta disagree.
No, I mean, that's one of the terrible things he fucking did was fuck with Bret Hart. But also, I mean,
I don't think he even fucked with Bret Hart.
No, I think Bret Hart
brought that all on himself.
Bret Hart fucked himself.
In this industry, you cannot just tell a promoter, "I'm out. I'm going to more money, and no, I will not drop your title how you want me to do it. I will do it my own way, so it don't look bad." Like, no, you're leaving. You quit. That's mine. You're going to lose it. That's how it goes. When you retire from pro wrestling, you go out on your back. Well, guess what? When you leave a company and you're their champ, you go out on your back. You don't get to take the title with you. So all of that shit was on Bret. And you watch that documentary, and yeah, he pulled a fucking fast one on him that night. But it could have been completely avoided if Bret Hart wasn't the fucking prick in the whole situation and refused. They even were going to like have him lose by or have him. I don't even remember. They were like still going to let him do his thing, almost what he wanted to do, but it wasn't exactly like it. So
yeah.
Well, so like there was that. So Bret 100% screwed Bret.
Well, there's also them reneging on the 10-year contract that he wanted. So. I mean, because he wanted a long-term deal, and that was the whole thing too. So don't forget, like this was not like a one-way fucking street here.
But that's just negotiations. You don't always get what you want out of negotiations.
Yeah, but he agreed in terms, and then they pulled it out from fucking underneath him.
Yeah, well, when you start losing stars, because they're signing, that's the thing. But the big thing is, it doesn't even matter on the money and that. At the end of the day, though, is it's like you still have to do what we say while you're here under the contract, and that contract that's ending that next day. That's when he was leaving. He needed to lose in Montreal. He needed to get a 3 count. Michaels needed the pin. That's how it should have went down. He was too selfish to drop the title in his hometown because he thought he was bigger than the WWE. And
not even his hometown, just his home country.
Yeah, his home country. And it ended up backfire because he goes to WCW, doesn't get over, has a short run, leaves, claims it's because they suck, but let's be honest, the fans just didn't take to him.
Well,
and he left talking shit about the things that were hot.
Yeah.
He talked shit about DX and Austin and the Attitude Era. Well, guess what? That's the era we're in now, man. That's what these kids want. You don't like it because you're old school. I get that. But guess what? You got kids, you don't want to see it, then don't let them watch it. But we're going to see chicks out there with puppies. We're going to see fucking Austin flipping people off. That's where we're at now, man. If you don't like it, don't like it, but don't take away what they're doing, because when it's pay-per-view time and it's time to put these matches in, they're putting them in.
And don't get me wrong, because I like Bret Hart, but the fact is that it's just like Ace is saying, when you preach about how you're the hero, you're the old, this is the way that it should work, and you don't want to work, then you're fucked.
Plus, in that whole thing, McMahon didn't have to do this, but he did it anyways, and he put Bret over at 26. He put Bret over at 26. It was a waste of the 20 minutes. I was there. There was no need for that fucking match. Like, Vince didn't get any offense in. It was literally the whole family came out with him the minute they were in the ring. They all turned on him, and it was a family beatdown, a horrible beatdown, because all of them are old as shit. On Vince McMahon for 15 minutes, and then it was over. So, like, even though Bret was wrong, Vince, and I hate to say this, was the bigger man and still brought him back, still made this amends, and then made him look like shit compared to Bret at 20. I was booing the entire time during that match in that stadium because I was so mad. I was like, why? Why would you let this happen?
You and fucking JR, fucking curmudgeons.
It's not being a curmudgeon. It's having knowledge of history.
Right.
And that's just how you do business too. Like that's just how. And
Yeah,
the thing is,
listen.
wrestling is not a up and up business all the time. But
Right. And I'm not disagreeing with any of that stuff, guys. What I'm just saying is, and I'm not even saying that necessarily Brett didn't screw Brett, but I'm just saying, like, as far as all of that shit goes and stuff like that, like, again, Vince messed up, Brett messed up. Like, they fucking did their parts in fucking that up. There's no doubt about it. But there's been other things that fucking Vince has screwed up in the industry as a whole, right?
Sure.
And that's what I'm saying. When he passes away, I'm not gonna fucking shed a tear about this shit. Mostly because I think that the industry would have been better off without ever fucking being in the first fucking place.
See, you're
Not
wrong.
necessarily as
You would
fucking
never had
popular.
Mania.
Where you're wrong.
would have never had WrestleMania.
I don't give a shit. Fucking most manias have sucked since fucking like 30.
Yeah, but you have to like look at a lot of people like us wouldn't even be wrestling fans if it wasn't for those. Like, dude, my first memory was WrestleMania number 3. If I didn't see that shit, I wouldn't be sitting here right now doing this.
That's
If it wasn't for Rock and Wrestling Connection with Cyndi Lauper and Piper. See, and this is where you're wrong. That's Vince. Obviously, things were different back then because a lot of that was Piper and a lot of that was Hogan.
Mhm.
And that whole interaction. But I mean, Vince gave him the stage to do it.
Right.
And if that hadn't happened, wrestling would not be where it is today.
I'm not saying it would be more popular. I'm not saying it would be even to the level it is right now. What I'm saying is I think across the industry, you'd probably have more opportunities for people to fucking wrestle for maybe a higher price tag than than scraping through the fucking indies and shit like that. Because you probably would have still had the AWA. You probably still would have Jim Crockett. You would probably still had Florida Championship Wrestling, Georgia Championship Wrestling. You would have had probably the World Class. You would have had a lot of these fucking promotions, and maybe somebody would maybe a Ted Turner would have fucking taken something. Maybe would have been celebrating Starrcade 38 or whatever this last year or something like that, or 39 or whatever. So what I'm saying is what I'm trying to say is, yes, the industry as far as popularity goes, because of Vince McMahon, clearly it's at where it is. I'm just saying for opportunity wise, for people, men and women both across the industry, if Vince McMahon never existed, there'd be probably a higher class across the board of people working, or at least more people fucking working at a higher level than you see right now. That's all I'm saying.
But
it's because of how many fucking places he swallowed up.
I disagree with you.
To play devil's advocate, though, then put the blame on Bischoff, because if he wanted to let the reins go like he did in WCW, there would have been another option. There would be other places. And so I mean, like, that's just a hard argument because
the argument is hindsight and speculation. The reality is this: Vince McMahon did things differently than the other territories did, in that Vince, long before there was any WWF, when it was WWF, Vince was doing things with Andre and sending it out around to all the territories and then sending Andre out. Vince
and The Rock, I mean, that's like his whole family, the grandmother, like he would share talent with their promotion in Hawaii.
Exactly. But the thing is that
and Japan, I think, a little bit back then.
Yeah, absolutely. But then when Vince did do this, nice.
I mean, I don't think he looks like a bearded lady.
He doesn't have big enough tits. When Vince did do it, though, in differentiation between Florida Championship, Georgia Championship, all that Crockett stuff, and AWA, Vince created a production company, and he attacked cable differently than Vern and Crockett did. They were still on the kind of, because wrestling used to be a paid time thing, way back when in the territory area. A lot of times it's like, oh yeah, we want to have these. They didn't, a lot of those promotions were paying to be on television at that time. So, and Vince didn't do that. Vince created this deal with cable, with USA and whoever the heck he was working with at the time. Madison Square Garden, I think, was the original one. And And he created not only the wrestling, he created a ton of more content, which nobody else was doing.
Yeah, I mean, he monopolized it later years. You know what I mean? So, like, the indies took a huge hit because of it. But I don't think we'd have the products we'd have now. I don't think we'd probably be as big as fans as we had now, because
that's what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying that he does not have his benefits. What I'm saying is, across the board, I think more people would be working. Like, the indies would have still stayed indies, and I think you would have had more people working across the board.
The only reason I'm not sure if that would happen is just because it's taken AEW to have like that second viable option.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, because he was so hell-bent on fucking eliminating all of his competition from the moment he fucking started. We went through and he killed everything else off until like 2001, 2002.
Here's the reality. He did not kill anything off. Poor business decisions killed stuff off. All he did was, liken it to this. Paramount decides they want to hire actors to work that are working at MGM.
Mm-hmm.
And they pay him more money, and they said, "Yeah, we'll give you this. We'll give you this amount of money per movie if you do it on an exclusive basis." Now, MGM can either match it or figure out something else. And if they don't, they don't. I mean, unfortunately, that's the way business is. That's the way. If somebody asked you to do your job somewhere else for more money, you would probably go, right?
Yeah, any other fucking podcast that wants me, as long as I get fucking paid.
Please. I'm tired of
you guys make this about where fucking people get
Can
paid and shit like that. What I'm talking, and you can say all you want as far as bad businesses, as far as like WCW, ECW, all that sort of shit. That's fine. What I'm saying is Vince cutthroating and then making these fucking deals. Because, again, people can say WCW like opened up the checkbook and signed everybody. Vince did it first. Let's not fucking mince words here. Vince did it first. He went through fucking AWA and WCCW and fucking ran roughshod on buying out every fucking contract he could. Hulk Hogan, Jesse the Body, Superstar Billy Graham, the Von Erichs. Like, he tried to get fucking Kerry and all them.
He did not try to buy out Buck Rock and Roll Zumhoff. He did not try to buy out Sodbuster Kenny J.
Well, but the problem with that is he's not even buying off. It's Gagne is famous for not having actual contracts. It was all word of mouth. It was a handshake
again, you understand,
deal.
like, he went into guys who are working that fucking territory. What I'm saying, guys, is you guys are mincing words as far as like where the popularity goes, and that's fine. You guys can talk about popularity all you want. What I'm saying is Vince McMahon, as far as a whole business goes, yes, popularity went up clearly because of WrestleMania and all the other shit that he's done. But as far as people working and making a living off of it, because remember, they're all independent contractors, so they get no fucking insurance, they get no nothing like that. So what I'm saying is, as a fucking whole, and multiple times he's fucking berated Jesse Ventura for even trying to start a union, which I'm not necessarily a union guy, but as far as trying to make fucking life better for the wrestlers who we fucking love, he's made it fucking very, very difficult for people to make a fucking living doing what they love. And that's my fucking point, and why I won't shed a fucking tear when he passes away. Because in my mind, he's been part of the fucking evil empire.
But that's all of them, though. That's every promoter.
I'm not.
Like that.
I'm not denying
I mean?
that. I'm not denying
if he didn't do what he did, they would have did it. But the other thing too is you got to remember, before he did that, for years he was sharing talent with all of them as well.
Sort of.
His dad before him.
No, not
they
sort
were.
of. He was.
They were part of the territory.
But of certain
his
ones,
dad
though.
was at the meeting in Waterloo where the National Wrestling Alliance was formed.
Of course, certain
so
ones.
like all of that was
they're
going.
Not
It's
going
just
to rotate everybody through, Tom.
Yeah,
right,
and then
like not everybody got Andre the Giant.
Not everybody was a star. Yeah, pretty much everybody got Andre.
Yeah,
pretty much everybody got a turn with Andre in their territory, and he would only come in and do. Maybe depending on how many TV stations they had, he'd do one show at each res. He appeared at Veterans Auditorium in Des Moines, which is the state for Central States. I can tell you because I remember. And he would appear in Kansas City, and he would appear in Sedalia, but wherever they had a TV, Sedalia, Missouri, and he would appear in all of these places. And you could roll your
Poor
fucking
Andre,
eyes all
he
you
had
want
go
to,
bumfuck
God damn it.
Egypt too.
Back in the olden days, Tom, a lot of places had wrestling.
I know a lot of places have wrestling because a lot of places still have fucking wrestling. Some of those fucking small little podunks, but no one fucking mentions Sedalia as a fucking top place to go,
Because it's
motherfucker.
not a top place to go. It's just where they have a goddamn station.
Top
Springfield,
place now.
Missouri.
Andre was there, dude.
See, the thing
Okay.
is that Vince would send Andre out wherever they wanted him. That was the deal. And Dory Funk would go into every territory that it was in the NWA once in whatever amount of time it was, and wrestle their top guy
Right.
and have a series of wrestling their top guy at wherever. And I don't get me wrong, Tom. I am not a fan of Vince McMahon's, but I just think you're a bit off here in saying, "Oh, I'm going to celebrate when that old bastard's dead," because in essence, that's what you're saying, and I understand your sentiment, but I think it's a bit misplaced.
I'm saying that I won't celebrate his death. I won't shed a tear for him. I think it's at this point it's actually probably past due, to be real honest with you. But that's
he's
beside
gonna
the
live
point.
forever.
Listen, what? And again, I think you guys are
He
focusing on the
eats
wrong.
money.
What
He eats money. That's how he stays alive forever.
is that? How it is? Is that how you go from a billionaire to a millionaire? You just eat your
Yeah.
own money.
Tom
Eat
Magic
money, then you
Johnson
shit
beat the
out
HIV.
diamonds.
You didn't know that?
Listen,
Ask him.
yeah, no, I mean, I know he put in a lot of money to get the right fucking pill cocktail. Again, I'm not trying to disagree with those things that you're saying. The way I see it is that Vince McMahon is not this god that people either want to make him out to be or the devil that everybody thinks he might be, all this other shit. He is a fucking dude who spoiled himself and certain talent that he liked, because there's no reason Hulk Hogan should be his fucking talent or should be the fucking man that everybody talks about when we talk about wrestling. No one should bring up Hulk Hogan because his talent level is fucking dog shit.
Well, and now it's like that because now people realize he wasn't talented because
Right.
now we see talent.
What I'm just saying is, like, for all of the good that he might have done, there's plenty of other things to just not be happy about.
Oh,
And
100%.
that's where I'm like,
100%.
I'm on this not happy side because of the amount of people, like, and the people he's
Yeah.
trusted over the last, say, 10 years, they have made bad business decisions, bad booking decisions, bad fucking PR decisions, bad everything. This company as a whole is a goddamn fucking nightmare at this point, as far as I'm concerned as an outsider, right? And you have the wrong people in fucking charge over there now. And he is the top of those people who are in charge over there. And that's what I'm saying is that everybody can say what they want as far as product. I'm a WWE guy. I'm like AEW, whatever. Like, yeah, sure, I was a WCW guy back in the day and shit like that. But like the reality is, this has been a fucking mismanaged clusterfuck for the vast majority of the last decade.
Oh, yeah, dude,
And
that's why
he is the fucking helm.
That's why turnover is so high and has been forever there.
Right.
But that is legitimately, like, if you talk to anybody in the business, like 90% of wrestling promoters are known for those exact actions.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Like-
they're not. Like
Like that's a very normal thing that goes
It's carny
back to
shit, guys.
and
Yeah,
that's just it. It
it's
all started
carny
in the
shit.
carnivals,
Right.
you know. So that's
yeah, and you guys mentioned like Vern, and you mentioned like, obviously him not paying people. We all know about like the Baron Von Erich or whatever not being the best businessman, like fucking the dillweed who ran UWF and shit like that, or fucking like Bischoff and Russo as far as like running WCW in the ground. Like, we all know there's fucking carny assholes out there. Everything has it, right? JR and I are in comedy. There's a bunch of carny assholes out here running shit somehow, but it doesn't make it fucking better. It doesn't make it fucking resourceful for everybody that, I gotta bow down to this fucking carny asshole because I need to get fucking paid. Get the fuck out of here,
I
man.
think you think more people bow down to him than do.
Yeah. You gotta realize, Tom, that there are people that
don't get me wrong,
feel
there are
that's-
people, but
there are people that feel the same way that you do, that work for that company right now as wrestlers,
Right.
and they don't like it, but you know what? They get to do what they want to do, and they
Right.
get paid well.
Right.
Now, they don't have to work for them. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you agree
Yes.
that they don't necessarily have to. You don't. I mean, this is. They don't have to work for him.
Correct.
And I'm just saying that.
Well, and I
don't
think someone
disagree. I don't
someone
disagree.
like Kevin Owens, who signed because it was the move for his family,
Yeah,
and now he has a fucking match with Ezekiel.
there you go.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, things aren't good. You know what I mean? And that's what. Have you guys listened to Freddie Prinze Jr.'s wrestling podcast that he's been doing? Because it's like
Nope.
all stories from when he was there writing. It's pretty
Wow.
fucking interesting.
I bet.
It's pretty interesting, the backstage stories that you hear out of him and the people that he brings, because he brings them on. He brings a lot of the people on that he worked with in WWE. Because it's Freddie Prinze Jr., you can get anybody apparently.
Yeah.
Nope.
So I don't know. You can hate on him if you want, Tom, but the guy is a fucking great wrestling mind.
I'm not saying he's not. I said I haven't watched it or listened to it. So
I felt a little tone of you don't like him though.
I think he's just another guy who's going to start a promotion that's going to fucking fail. But that's just beside the point.
I think if Tony Khan can do it, Freddie Prinze Jr. can do it and beat him.
You're probably not wrong in a certain
Well,
aspect,
I mean, like if we
but-
look at it though, he's worked with bigger talent. He's written for the bigger company.
Right.
And let's be honest, we just bitched for 30 minutes about Tony Khan not doing shit with his pay-per-view and having 3 matches that didn't need to be on there, a women's division that's in peril, and 100 other things like Cody leaving when all that weird. So it's like, yeah, I could see Freddie Prinze Jr. and he's got the connections entertainment-wise to land a TV deal as big as Khan did.
Mhm.
So yeah, I 100% think that. Well, and yeah, Jarrett too, but Jarrett isn't the level of AEW, and I think Freddie Prinze Jr. can get the backing and the networks involved to give both WWE and he can get the talent. He's friends with all these talent that WWE's letting go, dude.
Right. I'm not.
They're gonna want to work for him. You know,
I'm
what I mean?
not disagreeing with you. What I'm, and even that, like Jeff Jarrett was able to make it work, going from pay-per-view over to Fox Sports Net, over to Spike TV, and then basically Dixie Carter was one of these fucking narcissist assholes.
Yeah, I got money. Let me do this and make myself the star.
Right. And so, and here's one thing that I think Freddie doesn't have is the deep pockets that Tony Khan does, because the Khan family
but
is
just
billionaires.
like the Khan family, I mean, Tony or Freddie Prinze Jr. is friends with probably a lot of billionaires. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I
There's
don't know
no
how many...
maybes. The guy is probably worth millions. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can't tell
that's
me
what I'm
that
saying
he
is,
doesn't
like,
know a billion. You know what I mean?
he hasn't acted in a fucking movie in however long. Like, that's the thing. Like, some of the
And
billionaires
he's still a billionaire, dude.
Listen. Some of the billionaires that he is connected to are people who have run studios or agents, things like that. Like, so some of the billionaires he knows, he hasn't worked with in years. Probably don't give a shit about fucking wrestling.
He does more than you think he does, though. He does a lot of writing and directing now.
I understand what he fucking does.
Well,
but
then I think you're kind of off on this one. He knows more people than you're giving the man credit for.
Right, but he's not in front of the camera, right? So sometimes when you aren't in front of the camera, you're
Tony
not
Khan's
fucking
not
high
supposed to be
priority.
in front of the camera either. So.
But it's his own fucking money, man. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, man. His TNT contract is not based around, or his Turner Media is not based around what he fucking is bringing to them or who he fucking knows. It's about the fact that he's bringing a product that's already fucking finalized. Because he's
right, but
paying
I'm
for it out of
saying though,
pocket.
right, but again, Freddie Prinze Jr. can have those connections with a major network just like Turner.
I'm not saying that he can't. I don't
You know
think
what I mean?
you're understanding where I'm fucking coming from. Is you saying that he has connections is one thing, but him having the fucking pockets that AEW has is
Yeah,
a
but-
whole nother fucking thing.
But they
'Cause
don't
if he's
have.
going to go on this venture himself, which it sounds like he wants to, him even bringing in a backer is fucking detrimental to where he wants to be or where you think he's going to be able to go
Well,
to.
but you got to look at it this way too, though. There's a lot of things going on backstage at AEW, and there's a lot of unhappiness going on. That's all starting to come out now.
Right.
And
I'm
there's
not
a
saying
lot
that
of
they're
locker
not.
room issues going on there, and there's people who won't go work there.
Right.
And that third option, with who's going again, he's going to have a better TV option, I'm guessing, within the first 2 years of him existing, than any other one that's running like him, like a Impact or a GCW or anything. You know what I mean? To become a credible thing with WWE and AEW. Now, what happens then, because you never know with locker rooms, you never know. But again, the back pocket he has is he has these relationships with legit talented people from WWE that because of that alone, they may go work for him and not want to go to Tony Khan with what they've known already and seen. A guy like Miro not being used, a guy like fucking, you got Lance Archer. Where the fuck did he go? You know what I mean? You got all these talent that they brought over, and then there's just not shit. Brian Cage is just hanging out, all this shit. And they don't want to become another person like that. Look at Shawn Spears. This guy didn't even get to interfere in a match that he should have interfered in. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who are going to be like, I don't want to go there. And you're seeing it because there's these possible holdouts of a Claudio, of a Candice LeRae, of a Johnny Gargano that they may not go there. And if they don't, someone like a Freddie Prinze who can get himself some backing or at least a TV deal with a somewhat decent network that's better than what Impact has going. And at the moment, ROH, that's probably going to change. It's a very big possibility to become a legitimate, if you really look at the business, a legitimate thing. I've been hearing for a long time that things were a little bit rocky in the backstage of AEW, and now you're starting to hear it come out in the public. Now you're starting to hear these things, and you saw the stuff with Swole, and you see some of the things that Tony Khan has said and done over the last 6 months, and it's like his boat's starting to rock a lot more than it was, and they're not riding that momentum like they were the first year and a half because they're also kind of not the new thing anymore. And that's starting to wear off, and that's why they're getting more criticism as late than just the praise that they're getting that first year and a half. They couldn't do shit wrong then. Everything was fucking amazing. And I mean, I'm gonna be real honest. In the last 3 months, I watch Dynamite split because there's times that I'm just like, none of that sounds appealing to me at the moment. I'm just gonna see random shit, just like I'd see on WWE if I turned it on. So it's like, so that, and I have hope for Freddie Prinze Jr. in the respect of the guy's always been an actor his whole life. That's what he grew up to be. All this shit. His dad, an amazing comedian, actor, all this shit that he may be able to bridge a gap with some of these people and bring us a good wrestling show with good storyline and compelling stories. The guy's a D&D freak, and you can laugh at him for if you want. But one thing people underestimate about Dungeons and Dragons, the game, and I've never played it, but just watching and hearing about it and seeing it being played, is the creativity that goes in from like the guy who's running the show, that game. The creativity of writing this whole world for these players that has really no limits. And I've heard him do interviews and him talking about telling his like daughter's stories and how he makes them up and the stuff. And then he was telling one of them, and it was just like, it was this whole elaborate thing him and his daughter dreamed up, and I was like, that could be a show. I would watch that shit. You know what I mean? It was like fucking ninjas and shit. It was crazy. So that's my hope, is that he'll have that chance, because WWE has some good people. You got this like Liv, AJ, Finn Balor stuff. That's cool. You get you get tidbits of cool stuff over there. AEW is the same thing. You get cool tidbits there. And the whole thought of AEW was it was going to be that product for people who couldn't handle WWE. Well, it's much like politics now. You have one that's way over here, one that's way over here. I'm a fan of all of it, so I want right here.
Yeah.
So someone's got to make that jump to right here. Impact, if they had the right backing and could get some talent, some more talent to go with what they have, could slowly creep up and do that, but I don't think they'll ever get that backing. Guy like Freddie Prinze Jr. with the connections he has, the experience he has in Hollywood, in studios and TV and movie productions and all that shit. There's a lot of possibility that can go there, and it's very, for me, hopeful for the wrestling industry. And like you said, it's another place for these big names to go now. It's another odd job opportunity out there when he goes, and he's already funded for 3 years, he said, when he launches. He has enough to pay for, and that's without any of what the investors, without a TV deal already, well, that we know of, that could all be getting worked on right now, because he's been hustling. So I'm excited to see, and there's going to be big names tied to it. There's going to be when it happens.
Right. That was saying a lot about nothing there.
Well, no, but it's comparing these shows, and it's also it's a callback. Well, no, but it's also a callback to your thing with Vince, and that's it's opportunity. It's more opportunity.
I understand what I'm not trying to belittle your point. Actually, I was trying to fucking get out of apparently a fucking debate about this shit. I think you're overselling some of the points as far as his connections go, because again, people are going to be looking for some money on this one, knowing that there's other money that's out there. So connections are
Well,
great.
no, but I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, if he gets the money,
Yeah,
If he
but
says
also
he's
he,
fucked
he can
3
compete
years,
with
I
Khan.
mean, what?
He can compete with AEW easy.
what? Okay, fine. That's
Like if
fine.
he
guys.
with
Listen,
his first 2 years out of what the backing he has, if it's a good product, he'll get even bigger backing, and then
If
you know,
it's
he
here's
can-
the
he can
yeah,
run.
exactly. If it's a good product, it'll be fine. If it sucks, if it's along the lines of old ROH, which is great,
I
but
get-
had shitty distribution, then you know he'll
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
hard time. It's
And I get what you're saying, Tommy. I do, but I'm just saying when you're like, I just don't think he has these contacts. You're saying, and I get what you're saying. And
I
get
didn't
that
say
Khan
he
has,
didn't have contacts. What I'm
and I get
saying
that
is,
Khan has a deeper pocket right now.
yes,
Off
that's
the
what
bat.
But
But the also thing is,
if
they're
he's saying he
they're
has
in the
3
red.
years of,
You know what I
if
mean?
he
Like,
says he has 3 years of production money, he has a TV deal loosely based at this point.
loosely based.
He
Yeah,
has
but
to,
we don't have any
because no, there's no one
finalized
who
yet.
opens a promotion even at a fucking indie level who says they have 3 years of fucking money
right.
involved. There's no fucking, I guarantee you Tony Khan only had like a 5-year business plan, and the
Mhm.
first 2 years dealt with making contracts, making connections, and getting that TV deal. Because if they didn't have that by the end of year 2, all of his contracts are going to be fucking washed anyways. And you heard that from fucking Jericho. That's what I'm saying. If he's saying he has 3 years, he has a TV deal loosely in place. And I
Right.
brought up last week when you fucking mentioned it, his last major fucking hit was She's All That, which is a Miramax film. Miramax got bought out by Disney. Likelihood is he has a fucking streaming contract with either Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, or Hulu. So,
Well, I'm curious to see who the names are from the professional world that'll help.
right.
Like, someone's got to produce it, agent it. He ain't going to do it all himself. So I'm
I
wondering
mean,
what
let's
those
be
backstage
real.
names
It's
are
probably
gonna
going to be Russo, bro. He's going to bring in fucking Vince Russo. He's going to fucking ruin all his credibility. It's going to be over. See? There you go.
But I think it might be. I mean, dude, like he'll pull legends in though. Like, let's be honest, he has
Yeah.
the capability of pulling in Hall of Famers to work.
No, here I was
backstage.
trying to be fucking obsolete and fucking abstract about this shit. Yeah, but let's be honest now.
Well,
Come
I'm just saying. I mean, all I'm saying is, I get he doesn't have the pockets, but what I'm saying is, he has a plan to get to the point where he can then surpass Khan, if it works.
Legitimately,
That's what I'm saying. Because
Yes,
Khan also
I
blew
understand.
a shitload of money that he didn't need to blow.
right.
And he said
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
'cause he
he's
brought a lot of
overabundant
contracts he
of
didn't need to.
talent, and now he's starting to let them all run out because
Right.
he's like, oh shit. And let's be honest, if anything bad happens with that video game, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they put a lot of money into that shit.
Well, and just investment in time and promotion of it. So
Oh
like
my
that's
God,
a
yeah.
big thing. So I don't want to distract from the idea of, again, you saying that, what I was talking about earlier as far as like territories and shit, more people working. I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is I don't want to say this that way. It takes more than just name recognizability, and then also who your
Tom,
connections might
I
be.
get what you're trying to say. I'm not understanding that. What I'm telling you is when he gets to the point that he does have it, if it happens with this 3-year plan, he can compete or surpass AEW. That's what I'm saying. I think you're the one missing the point.
No, I understand.
Because you
your
keep
fucking
bringing
point.
that part up. I get that. Yes, I understand that. I'm saying though is if the 3 years go good, he may surpass AEW. Which if he does that, then he's got more money than Tony, right?
Listen.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm confused why you keep bringing that up. That's why I keep saying it, Tommy, because I'm not.
But you're not letting me finish my fucking point here. My fucking point is you are getting fanboy on this. That's what I'm hearing from you is you're getting fucking way too hyped about what could fucking be. What I'm saying is what is here right now is he has no one and nothing. And he's probably a year before he can launch officially. And when he says he has 3 years worth of money, means that there's some deal in place already that he's not willing to disclose where that might be. And if it's a streaming service, there's limitations to what you can do with a streaming service. You can see that with a WWE network, the fact that it's now on Peacock here in the United States. So what I'm saying is you are getting a little too hyped over something that's not existent. And that's all I'm saying.
Well, no, and I understand that, and that's why I'm saying you not understanding me. I'm giving you hypotheticals of if it works.
Yes, I understand the hypotheticals. I don't need those fucking
So I
played out
guess
for
I
me.
don't. But that's what we're talking about. That's why I'm confused. What you're saying, like I
But
get what you're saying.
Your
But what I'm
hypotheticals just lead in a circle of this is going to be great. This is going to be great. This is going to be great.
I said
Awesome.
it could be great.
No, you were basically saying it's going to be great.
Okay.
With all
this
these
started
hypotheticals.
because you basically were shitting on that he couldn't be bigger than AEW.
I didn't
And
say
what I'm
he
saying,
can't
yes,
be.
you did.
What
and I'm just saying that's. I get what you're saying. You're just.
I just
hearing
want people to
things
be
differently.
fucking realistic
You're
when it
just
comes
hearing
to
things
like
differently.
fucking promotions and shit like that, man. Like anybody,
Danny.
because again, anybody who says they have fucking 3 years worth of money for a show to run is either out of their fucking mind lying to themselves, or they have enough fucking pieces in place to probably launch today.
Mhm.
So that's all I'm saying is like, again, you playing with hypotheticals and getting everything fucking drawn out where it's like a big fucking deal.
Well, but
I gotta
that's
start
what
seeing
we're
some
supposed to
shit
do.
on fucking paper or on the fucking internet, man. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
gotta start seeing like a lineup. I gotta
100%.
start seeing fucking show dates
100%.
where he's gonna be recording all this sort of shit. Because like, you know, fucking
100%.
Billy Corgan had all these fucking connections, and it means dilly shit for the NWA now.
Right,
So,
and that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's exciting to see where that can go because
right.
it's a name of notoriety.
Yeah,
The
I got all
NWA
hyped up.
turned it, but the NWA turned diddly shit because of the pandemic.
I don't disagree, but
Yeah, that's kind of true.
but also too, like, you know,
I mean, there are
when these-
that's the thing. Other factors go into all of this shit.
yes,
And you know, hypothetically,
and I'm 100%. I'd love to see it on paper.
hypothetically being positive or hypothetically, you know, throwing up what ifs and on both is sort of ridiculous. But I mean, that's the reason we have a show and went for almost 3 hours tonight.
Well, it's nice when we
Right.
get to talk to each other about this stuff.
Yeah.
We usually just talk to guests about them.
Well,
Tom
we
kisses
should.
their asses so much.
I
know.
don't actually. Most
Oh,
of the
you kiss
most
ass
of-
so much.
No,
you
we
want-
do. We
you
all
want to
do.
go back to the fucking? Oh shit! Where the fuck is that goddamn list? Oh
The
shit!
Tom game.
The Tom game, yeah, man. We can go back to the fucking Tom game, man. I can go give you the fucking rundown, man. If I can find it. Oh shit! This is. Oh, here we go. Whoo.
Stats
right.
on stats.
Yeah. Let's see. So. get
This
outta
is
here.
a segment we are now calling Top Shelf Stats.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, sure. 6 people want to tag with Ace, 3 with you, only 2 with me. Of opponents, 6 for me, 4 for Ace, 1 for JR, which we all know who that one is. Manager, 1 for JR. I'm sorry, 7 for JR, 1 for Ace, and 3 for me. So literally, as far as I can tell, there's only about 5 people who've been on this that want to fucking partner with me or have me as a manager in their corner. So out of all the people that I've sucked up to, there's at least 6 other people who want to kick my ass. So
Yeah, me and you have a pretty healthy list going of equal amount of people who want to beat us up.
yeah, but some of these people know you outside of the ring, outside of the show, or like from
Which
you being a
makes it
commentator
hurt
and stuff.
more when they say, "Well, they want to beat me up."
Well, they've also probably went back and listened to your commentary, and they're like, for sure, this guy needs to get the shit kicked out of him. He messed up my name.
Malice.
Well,
Yeah. That's my homie, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat the shit out of you."
yeah, that's true. That is true. But he also knows who's the best manager here, which is me. So,
yeah.
so is Billy Starks and Nerd D. Both they all know that I would be the best manager because I'm the best mouthpiece here. So let's wrap this fucking shit up and go to bed.
Nerd
Yeah.
D next week. Hell in the Cell recap.
Those of you that hung with us
That big
for the whole
one
show.
Hell in the Cell match.
Yeah, thank you so much. We will. I mean, it's on Peacock. I mean, fuck. Don't cost nothing.
I mean, it does if you pay the
It does. It could be
$9.99.
$9.99. I mean, I pay.
No,
I
it's.
just don't pay
I
attention.
think it's. I think it's $4.99 and
$4.99 for Peacock. If you get like live stream for sports or like anything else of their
Yeah.
programming, it's like actually like $12.99.
Yeah,
I
but
wonder if that's what I'm
$4.99 is all
paying
you
for.
really need for that shit.
I think I pay the $12 for the golf pass too.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Rubbing it in.
Dan asked Tom,
you're
"What would you think
betrayed.
if Freddie started a Fed with Titan?" You mean like the old Braun Strowman? Fine. Controlling Air isn't going to work either. So
Oof, no, that thing.
Yeah.
And then did you hear what's their names? It sounds like their shit's gonna collapse already. Who were the guys with the Legion of Doom's guy? Authors of Pain. They tried to start their own thing.
Oh,
they
yeah,
had to
yeah,
cancel
yeah.
the show.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
And I think it was who's the ROH or women's champ for Deonna Purrazzo? Which one's she in? Is she Impact or ROH?
She's
was
she's
ROH.
Impact.
RH.
Or no, ROH, yeah.
She
Okay,
was
yeah.
ROH. She was also Impact, but I mean,
So
I
she
think
was supposed to be
signed
on-
Impact.
I think she was the one that said she was supposed to be on that show and that she won't be at their rescheduled date and that it was like the worst experience ever for trying to get like booked and all this stuff.
Sounds about right.
They're a couple of fucking meatheads.
Paul
Ellery
talked to me.
Hey, if we just put our flap jacket thingies on, we're good, right?
Anyway, for those of you that hung with us and have hung with us for this long, we appreciate it very, very much. More than you know, we enjoy the fact, but we would probably just talk to each other if you weren't here. So we're glad that you enjoy hanging with us.
These conversations happen no matter what.
Yeah, it's true. Good night to you, Dan. Good night to everybody that's still hanging. And again, tune in with us next week as Nerd D will talk with us about Hell in a Cell. Bye-bye. I don't have... Oh, this is another nice... Rudy, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for hanging
Rudy.
with us. This is another thing that just happened. Apparently, I somehow deleted all the fucking shit in my downloads. So
What?
I
Just
don't-
now?
No. A
Oh.
couple of days ago, accidentally pushed a button. No way to get rack with it. So I don't even have that wonderful outro. Even if I couldn't play it, now I can't. So
Yeah, just
play our
play the
song
t-
again. Get the fuck
play
out
the
of here.
top, or I was gonna say play the Tom game outro.
oh yeah, I could do that. I did that last time, didn't I? All right, here we go.
It's short.